And my microphone's been on mute the whole time. Well, I am not on fire today, so my excuse is that I reinstalled Windows yesterday, and I did it in about 4 hours, and it turns out that not everything is working perfectly, but I'm getting there. So what we're doing is having a look at Emergency Dispatcher Pro, which is new software from Miravia Softworks. And it's designed to give you a little bit more activity inside our flight simulator. It works beautifully with helicopters. It is not limited to helicopters. It is not limited only to the MH-60. So you're going to see all of that in action soon. Just as soon as I can figure out why this is invisible in here. So why is the flight simulator invisible to us over here? That is a real mystery to me. So I will just expand this out, and oh, I think I can see what's happened now. Dear oh me, this is a great way to start a stream. Really great way to start a stream. So let's just copy that there and paste that in here. And oh, look, what do you know? There we've got our what we needed all along, which is Microsoft Flight Simulator. Kind of the important thing, really. When it comes to doing a bit of a live stream for you. So let's just get that in here again and move that down here. And does that work now? No, but it's visible to us, so that's the important thing. Well, I'm on fire, so thank you 19 concurrent viewers for watching me struggle with both OBS and Microsoft Flight Simulator for the last 5 minutes. Do these others? Yes. No, that doesn't work either, so I'll fix that soon. That's wrong. Maybe I'll just stay on this scene. Oh, good times. So, I am at this point going to bring in a very special guest who is called, like me, well, I'm called Matthew, and I'm very pleased to introduce to you Matt from Miravia Softworks. Say hello, Matt. Unmute yourself and say hello.
Howdy, everyone. Good to be here. Thank you so much. I hope my mic is coming through just fine. Your mic's
coming through just fine. It's just everything that I'm doing that seems to be a little bit wrong today, even though I actually promise you that I tested all of that as well. So what I might do, Matt, is just get back into Discord and just make sure that I'm sharing my screen with you so that you are getting the most up-to-date view on what is happening here on my struggling around, trying to get things working today. So while I'm doing that, what made you want to do an application like Emergency Dispatch Pro?
Yeah, so honestly, I have been a big flight simmer since FS 2004. I mean, even FS 98 was a thing for me. It's been a part of basically who I have been. I always call myself a flight sim nerd since my inception that I can remember. Yeah, it's been an interesting ride, and I've been a long-time consumer of flight sim products. I mean, all the way back to the PMDG days in flight sim. I remember vividly their JS41. That was one of my favorites. I wish they would bring it back. Hit PMDG if you're listening to this.
Can you do Coast Guard missions in it though, Matt?
In a JS41, you sure can. It's got that small top, like it's perfect for those you know, back and forth, like those small hops, right? The medevacs from like Astoria or Kodiak or Sitka, anywhere. So
nice.
But yeah, I just kind of woke up and I was like, you know what? Let's do this. Let's take the skills I've learned over the years and let's try to apply it. And it seems to be going good. You know, not reflective of the of the software not showing up in your stream. But,
I'll get there. I'll get there.
We'll get that working. Yeah.
So what is, I'm going to just see if, well, I've had to like hurriedly just change some screens around over here to get it all working properly. But why is Chase Plane blowing around in the wind that much? That is insane. Look at it blowing around like that. I am just going to get the, if I can, get this a little bit higher in the list here so that, oh, that's not going to work either. I swear that this has kind of regressed to like a previous version of itself. This was all, I swear to you, working fine before. What I'm trying to do is to get ED Pro back on the screen again, and that is most certainly wrong. So, why don't I... No, I've actually got to do it live. I've got to struggle around live in front of everyone. Just while I struggle with that, Matt, tell people what Emergency Dispatch Pro actually does.
Yeah, so Emergency Dispatcher Pro is a procedural mission generator for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. It's in the plans to get it backwards compatible to 2020. Essentially, it's 100% procedural generation, so the points that it generates for the user should, in all theory, never be the same. You'll get the same helipads, like hospitals, and that's due to the logic. So we have, last time I checked, and I tried to fact check this really hard, all level 1, 2, and 3 trauma centers within the Coast Guard bases are available, and they are designated.
So just pause there for 1 second. So you've got
Yep.
so you're like a base focused application here, right? So I've just dropped down, and I think this is actually now visible to people. I've just dropped down. Oh, I don't know that the pull down is actually showing, but so where I'm hovering here now, it's currently set on Cape Cod, but in here I could choose Astoria in Oregon. I could choose Elizabeth City. I could choose Kodiak. That'll be a popular one. Port Angeles, Sitka, and Traverse City. I've actually spawned in Cape Cod, so I'm going to select Cape Cod. And so what were you saying about the hospitals, Matt?
Yeah, so for every base, and we tried to model every base that the U.S. Coast Guard operates out of right now will be in the full release. In the beta, you're going to be limited to a few bases. This is mainly for testing, making sure it's all good, and whatnot. So yeah, I think it's 26 bases and 1 seasonal base for a grand total of 27 in the application itself. And yeah, the Kodiak one is going to be really popular for sure. I love flying up there in Alaska.
Who doesn't love flying out there in Alaska? That is just one of the most popular places to go. So let's actually get ourselves a little bit of a demo here. So, oh, now that's messed up that again. What has happened to my OBS today? This was all going so well. All right, so what I could have done actually is done this while you were talking. So why don't you just help me spin my wheels here for a second, Matt, and tell me what is special about Cape Cod?
Yeah, so Cape Cod has the Boston Metroplex and the metropolitan area. In the area, a lot of U.S. Coast Guard missions will happen in and around this area. They have a lot of fisheries and fishing activities as well as boating activity up there. Yeah, the biggest level 1 trauma centers are going to be downtown Boston, so it will take you into the downtown area, especially if the mission curves that way. The back end logic is to always try to preserve level 1, 2, 3 hospital designation and so on before it chooses one that is undesignated. There's a lot of hospitals in the U.S. that have helipads. They're functioning hospitals. They're not level 1, 2, 3, or up to 5 trauma designated. All that means is the level of care that you can receive. Level 1 being the highest level of care in the United States that you can receive. This is advanced life-saving stuff. There's a full list, and I should probably post that on my Discord about what the trauma center mean. But it's essentially the level of care that's available at that hospital at all times. So, for example, in the state of Alaska, there are no level 1 trauma centers. The best that they have is a level 2. And so routinely they'll fly out of Alaska down to Seattle to medevac people out of. So that's kind of what that simulates in that aspect.
Sure.
Let's see, what else? There's a lot of cool stuff in there. What would you like to know about personally? Yeah.
Well, let's actually start. Let's get into it, Matt. I propose, and I had a bit of a sample with this yesterday. I've got the Cape. So I've based myself in Cape Cod. I've spawned in the MH-60 on the pad, and one of the really nice things about what I've noticed so far about Emergency Dispatcher Pro is I can set myself a mission, but I don't need to restart my flight. So that is a real benefit here. So I could start with a random mission, or because I tried ditched aircraft water yesterday, I'm actually just going to select that up here now from Cape Cod. Equipment is MH-60, that's correct. I'm going to choose duration less than 1 hour. I love that we have got an option to do that as well. I've got a choice of less than 1, less than 2, less than 3, or any. So if I've got a certain amount of time available to me for my simulator session, I can choose what works for me. So I'm just going to hit dispatch now, and what is going to happen is that Emergency Dispatcher Pro is going to have a little think for a minute. And that red mission inactive down in the lower left of the window is going to change, and we are going to find ourselves with a mission, hopefully. I've just got a blue wheel at the moment, so here it comes. Alright, so it looks like we're going to the north today, and dispatch notes. Air traffic control, lost contact with an ATR over open water. Last position resolves to this area, the red area there. Expect a ditching site with survivors and rafts nearby. Based on last known position and transport time, deliver any injured to Beth Israel Deaconess Hospital in Massachusetts, a regional receiving hospital for definitive care. Alright, Matt, so I'm liking the look of this mission here. I'm just going to be proceeding north along the coast, and then it looks like we're going to be tasked with dropping people in a hospital here on the way back to Otis, the joint base where I have spawned in on the US Coast Guard pad. Alright, so while you tell us about what you think of that mission, Matt, I'm going to take off sort of backwards, proceed north, and get us flying. So what do you think of that task?
Yeah, I think one thing I want to point out is the equipment list that you have available. It's the MH-65, the MH-60, and the C-130, and then you have some others. These are not restrictive to these types, and I want to point that out, is they are just used for the math. So for all these models, and we will be adding more aircraft models, we're determining a certain ground speed and true airspeed, into the duration. So the duration is not a hard limit of 1 hour. It'll give you about a 10% buffer, I believe is what I set it up for. So it may go over a little bit, but it won't hard lock you exactly at 60 minutes. That would take forever with the generation. It would be always trying to find you that 59-minute sweet spot, and it can freak out on it. But a little bit of a buffer. Also, it's realistic, right? You might get out there, you might spend some time searching. So we want to make sure that you have a little bit of a buffer when it comes to that 1 hour, but it should get you relatively close to that 1 hour. But yeah, the times are linked to the helicopter or the aircraft type that you're choosing. It's not the only aircraft you can fly.
Yeah. Yes, so I mean, you've designed it so it's aircraft agnostic, which is always great, because for people who, well, we're all really excited in the helicopter community, of course, because we've got the prospect of being able to fly US Coast Guard MH-60 and MH-65 when when the Taugs Hangar product releases. So I think I've executed a reasonably good backwards sort of profile there, and we're proceeding out east initially, and we'll turn north to follow the coast to get to the ditching site of this ATR that we're set to rescue. And yeah, so it's exciting stuff having all this choice. Matt, what's your take on the upcoming Taugs Hangar MH-65 / Dauphin?
Yeah, so for starters, I love the 60. I love what Miltech has done with the product, and I love the fact that a 65 is coming soon. So I don't know if this has been said, but I am working with the real U.S. Coast Guard on this application. They're not funding the project, but they are supporting it with knowledge and knowledge sharing transfers. And when the government reopens in the United States, hopefully I can get out there and get a visit in with them. But that 65, man, they love it, but it's too small, is from what I'm hearing. It's they want the 60s, they want that size, and be able to, basically what I was told is when you get into a 65, you're just already critical fuel for the payload, the capacity. They feel so much more freer, is what I've been hearing, in the 60, just because it can hold so much fuel. And it's a really cool aircraft. Nothing against 65, but for the Taugs 65, I'm super excited. It's it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
It looks amazing.
Well, I mean, everything that house does, you know, they do with such care at Towers Hangar. So, and there's always a kind of an ethos, you know. There's those aircraft are always a little bit gritty, a little bit real in terms of just the feel of it, you know. It's a little bit hard to sort of describe. You know, yeah, it's not just about grimy panels. It's just about the sense of you actually sort of controlling this aircraft within the confines of what we've currently got in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. But they're doing a beautiful job, and I'm excited about hopefully having the opportunity to test and then demonstrate the 65 or the Dolphins. So yeah, it's going to be fun to get into that. And a couple of comments on the chat there. Can I make Matt a bit louder? Sure I can. I'll give it a go. It's just a matter of just getting a bit of a balance between MSFS 2024 and Matt. They're both coming in on the same signal, so I'll just give that a go in just a moment. And a question there, Snaky. Holy crap, this chopper looks crazy. Which one are you talking about there, Snaky? Are you talking about this MH-65? This MH-60, or are you getting excited about the incoming MH-65 from Towers Hangar? I mean, this MH-65 does look awesome. Both of them. Correct answer. Both of them are awesome. I just have to change this. I have to use this to do the sound because they're both coming on the same channel. So we'll just reduce MSFS all the way down there and keep that going in there. And I'll get back inside the cockpit. And if people could maybe comment on what the balance and sound is like between Matt and the background, or Matt and me, that'd be great. So, Matt, what are your helicopter flying skills like?
Oh, man. When I first started, it was pretty much flipping over into a field. So I'm a real pilot, fixed wing. And I've seen helicopters. I've never been a big fan of them. Personally, don't chastise me and crucify me all, because my mind has changed. I am a huge fan of helicopters now. I think they're really cool in the fact of, like, you can go anywhere, right? Like, it sounds really stupid, but I saw a few short clips of this guy who just posts himself this real world going to, like, the grocery store with a little bird essentially, and I look at that and I go, oh, that's kind of cool. That's not something I can do in a little Cessna. So they're
going to the shops.
I would not
going to the shops in your Hughes.
Yeah, exactly. Goes to flip flops, and I'm like, damn, that's cool.
Oh, one day. So I've also got Emergency Dispatch Pro comes in kind of two halves, I guess you could say. So we've got a desktop app, which I was showing you on my screen before, and we've got this EFB tablet app as well. The EFB tablet app doesn't actually do everything, but it does do a lot of the stuff. And so we've got this nice, very sophisticated color scheme on this app, Matt, but it's a nice representation of the mission map. And what does the color code here mean? I'm going between green and blue on my track here that it's printing out.
Yeah, so the color coding is just a cool little way to visualize your ground speed and the changes in ground speed. It's 100% linked to that. The brighter it gets, so the closer it gets to yellow, the faster you're theoretically going. A little work needs to be done there, but yeah, it's still shaping up. It looked better than gray, that's for sure. The map was honestly, I'm not gonna lie, this was one of my biggest hurdles. The Microsoft Flight Sim environment is not very hospitable to just maps in general in the CFB tablet. And a huge shout out, there's a VFR nav map app on FSTO. His name is Sleeper, really good guy. He was able to kind of guide me in the correct direction on how to make this map function. My early beta testers, it was the most frustrating thing, because I want to make this good for VR players. And it was the most frustrating thing. I could not get a map that looked decent in here. And then when I did get a map, I couldn't get it to follow the aircraft and the own ship trail and whatnot. It was a mess. I pivoted off it. And then I came back to it in the last couple weeks, and I was able to crack the code and actually get it working. And it was great. Yeah, for VR users, it's a huge win, because I know that clicking in and out is not something you want to do. You want to be able to see everything integrated. And you can load from the external app the Microsoft Flight Plan and put it directly into the sim. And for example, in the Miltech MH-60, if you open up your map and then load it in that way, you'll see the points on the ground. But now just having it integrated in the FB is chef's kiss. There's also that open AIP function there that'll show you airspace that is in the area. You got to set the API code up in your external app, but once it's in there, you can use the open AIP. It's free. You just got to create an account with them.
Oh, okay. So I can't. So I may not have done that yet. So therefore, that may not be functional for us today. You seeing the airspaces with what I'm circling here?
Yeah.
All right,
yeah.
cool.
You would have to just quickly create an account, throw the API key into the settings page of ED Pro, and it'll save it, and then you can just toggle that on and off.
Awesome. So the conditions here today, we've got freezing weather on. The app could also tell us this. I'm just giving a bit of a briefing now that we've taken off. That's interesting. My data bar thinks I'm only doing 52 knots. I'm pretty sure that I'm going faster than that. No, I'm not. I've slowed right down. So let's just fix that problem. Too busy chatting and not enough time attentive on what I'm doing with the simulator. That's the problem here. So what I might do actually is I'll just get the auto flight off for a little bit, and we'll just establish ourselves a little bit lower and substantially faster. Yeah, you see the EFB app tells us. It tells us that I was going blue and therefore slowing down. So that's not great. Such a smooth ride in the MH-60 that I didn't even realise I was slowing down so much. There we go. So we've got 120 knots back on now. That would have made it a very long journey to get up here. See if I can push it up to 160 to make up for a bit of lost time there. With that cold air temperature, -2 degrees right now, we'd expect maybe a hypothermia risk of people in the water. And that's one of the, I suppose, party tricks of the new app, is that there is a patient simulator, which we'll get to when we get there. So what do we need to know about looking after people with hypothermia, Matt?
Yeah, so a lot of the patient simulator and the interactions, it wouldn't have been possible without a lot of help from external people, firefighters, EMTs, nurses, even a few doctor friends who had the time and wanted to divert some energy over to me. Has been great. Essentially,
another community effort.
Right, it really is. It's been invaluable knowledge. Sure, I can Google all day, but there's some things that you can't Google, right? There's just some things that people know instinctively. And yes, I guess you could Google, you could read the medical books, but that would take me forever. The patient simulator model is pretty robust. There's some things that I'm still working on in the back end to make sure that shows in the front end. But essentially, for the hypothermia model in specific, on your external app, you have a briefing with the nearest buoy temperature, so real world buoy temperature, like the ocean temperature.
Wow, that's cool. How do you get that?
And then it's in the briefing panel on the right-hand side.
Oh, I meant, what I meant was, how do you get that data? So here's the nearest buoy weather right down here. So 3.1 nautical miles from the scene, we've got water temperature 2.2 degrees Celsius, and that implies an extreme hypothermia risk with rapid exhaustion and incapacitation expected within 15 to 30 minutes. I'm getting that information just from a tooltip pop-out from the Emergency Dispatcher Pro desktop app.
Yeah, so the National Weather Service and the National Oceanic Aviation Administration, NOAA, the U.S. government posts a lot of free to poll sources, and that's what we pull from is the U.S. government's buoy temperature. So they have buoys all over the U.S., including Alaska and whatnot. And so the hypothermia model will read that. It'll read the closest station for ambient air temperature, so it's usually a METAR. And then it'll apply a cooling ratio based on how long they're in the water. So the entire time that you loaded that mission from base to when you get on scene will have a hypothermic model attached to it.
Nice.
And so the longer it takes you to search, the faster the hypothermia will kick in, cool their core body temperature.
Wow, amazing, amazing. Fly T Simple. Oh, I need to say thank you for Alois for the kind support of the channel there. Very much appreciate that. And Fly T Simple. Ha, that's me, Matt and Matthew Swampy. Is that someone that you know, Matt?
Yeah, I think that's a guy I know. It sounds familiar. No, he's a firefighter that's been helpful in helping me with a lot of emergency medical questions that I have and whatnot, and helping me really shape the app.
I love that. I love that community input that we have in Flight Simulator. What I notice about people who work professionally as I don't know, medics, rescue swimmers, even people who may be working in construction but work with, let's say, helicopters. These people are all just so incredibly motivated to share their experience, share their wisdom. Maybe they just enjoy the feeling of being at the controls for once. You know, maybe they've worked with helicopters or aircraft a lot of their lives professionally, and so being able to invest their knowledge back with developers like you, Matt, gives them the opportunity to sort of give back a little bit and also to enjoy that process for themselves when they actually get to try it in the simulator. How cool is that?
Yeah, I think what I've noticed is the majority of people that I ask, I keep getting this like in my own head, right? I get in my own head and I go, they're gonna think this is dumb. Like, who's this random developer reaching out asking real world questions? And I get the opposite. I get even from the U.S. Coast Guard, I got the opposite. Everyone seems really happy to like provide as much information as they can and just talk about it, right? Because I mean, in the case of like the U.S. Coast Guard, they don't get a lot of like story time of like getting accurate representation of what they get to do.
So interesting, because it's such a vital service. Why? I wonder why they feel that way. It's really interesting.
I mean, the fun part is, right, like, it is a vital service. It is, they're out there, you know, I tell them this every time. I like doing this in the sim because I don't have to jump into that 2 Celsius degree water and go swim around and save people. That you would not catch me doing that. That sounds really cold. I don't care how much equipment you have on. But they will jump in, and they will not only just hoist it, they will jump in from a certain altitude. I think in the sim I put it as 20 feet. Realistically, they will not jump any lower than 15 feet above the water. Yeah. Some of their guys prefer that the wheels, as what I've been told, the wheels are actually touching the water, taking some water on before they'll jump in. So there's a little bit of a preference for the swimmers, I guess, when they want to jump. Free fall deployment is what it's called.
Yeah, well, that's a little challenge for me, because what we're going to be doing with the MH-60 that we're flying today is we are going to be getting up close to the scene. So we're expecting, as I said in the briefing before, we're expecting to find a ditched ATR aircraft. So the reports are of rafts on the water and possibly people in the water. I don't know that we actually get to see that, but we will be slowing down to a hover. If people have flown the MH-60 before, they will know that this aircraft, it has a lot of sophisticated features. Have I slowed down again?
I think you might have.
I'm again at 70 knots. Well, no wonder. We've got lots of time to chat because I'm doing a highly inattentive job flying my aircraft. So let me just nose down here a bit with the trim, and we'll see our speed picking up.
You know what they say: if you're not if you're not clacking, you're slacking.
Thank you for the reassurance.
Man, that chase plane. Can we talk about that chase plane? That is just, those are some cool shots that happen. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's really great. I mean, it's wonderful for streaming too. You know, like I can just ask for these different views over here. I've got the cinematic view here. This is good for airliner pilots who you know, flying long range. They can kind of use this as a screensaver. This one that I've got on now. But it's just quite nice for us to get a little bit of a sense of our situation there over the sea. It's not too rough of an ocean today, which is nice. The wind, we've got about 12 knots coming in from the east there, so the sea's looking reasonably flat. And yeah, chase plane really helps to emphasise where we are. But check out this view, Matt. I've done this looking down from the winch, so this should be fun for later. So I've set like a fixed GoPro camera here for us to enjoy once we get going.
No, insane. It's just, yeah, it just blows my mind. I don't know. Coming from 2004 and FSX, right? Just what we have now it's incredible. It just makes flying fake planes that much more fun.
Well, if flying fake planes weren't fun enough, as it were, we've just got all these new sort of toys to sort of keep us interested. So what have we got? We've now got 15 knots coming from the east. We're getting into the zone. I'm scanning the horizon. I'm not seeing anything here. This is another fun feature that we've got in Chase. Oh no, sorry, that's a bit of a smear on the windscreen. I thought I saw some smoke. I can scan the horizon with these binoculars. How cool is that? How cool
I didn't
is
even know that was a thing.
Yeah, this is another chase plane feature. I love that, and I've got it on some switches here so I can kind of do it more or less hands-free, so that's pretty handy.
Will it zoom in too?
Yes, so it just resets the view each time, but zoom... Oh! Is that zoomed in enough for you? I can't even control it.
Yeah. Wow. I didn't even know that was a feature. That's awesome.
It's pretty good for this kind of work, you got to say. I'm not seeing anything out there yet. You don't know if you're kind of getting into sort of flight sim level of detail kind of issues there. But I'm not seeing anything out there on the horizon. Mind you, I haven't looked over to my right yet, so I might use the chase plane view for that. And just get the camera moving out here. Yeah, so I would think that we're expecting a big plume of orange smoke. I'm not kind of seeing anything out there just yet. There is a cheat though, isn't there, Matt? I can actually find my way very directly to the site.
Yeah. There's a few cheat ways that you can get out there. You can look on your default flight sim EFB, and it'll usually show the just like all sim objects. It'll show the icons of what's spawned as an airplane. If you go into dev mode, you can always just turn on the little debug tool and check out the what's it called? The sim object containers.
Indeed. Now, what have I got? Oh, looks like I've got a ship out here, Matt. So,
yep, that should be one of your rescue ships.
Okay, so we've spotted a ship. That's interesting. Are they? Oh, there's another ship, I think.
He's also searching.
Yeah, so we've got rescue ships. The app's putting those into the simulation for us. Would I expect to be able to follow them to get to the site, or are they kind of independent?
They're kind of independent, so they should be running a sector search from the center. They realistically have a low chance of finding the target before you do. Just in general, you're up higher, you have a faster speed, so theoretically you should be the first one to find it, but there is a chance that they find it before you. And if they do, they'll mark it on the map, and you can just head directly to that. And yeah, I see
Yep.
I see a red plume of smoke.
Yep, that's what we're looking for. We have sighted the target. I'm using real world weather, real world time today, so there's no missing that orange plume, Matt. That is that's handy. That's what we need. All right, so we are going to attempt to. We'll approach kind of with the wind at our tail, which I think is going to score me down. I might just try and come in obliquely and then swing around so that the last part is going into the wind. So what we haven't talked about yet is, we don't need to go into all the detail now because we'll do this approach in a minute, Matt, but the application is scoring me. So I need to be on my best behaviour here, best skills, and one of the things I could do initially is open the door, although the app does give us an opportunity to do that as well, but I've got that open now. This comment from Potato Pilot Jim. Yeah, the chase plane cameras are really great. Still kind of buggy with VR. There is actually not official support for VR yet with the chase plane cameras, but the external views work. But I don't think you'd really want to. It makes you very recipe for very rapid motion sickness for using those external cameras in virtual reality, I feel. Alright, so let's get this nose up and the collective down. We're at 120 knots now, and as I said, I'll come in obliquely. I think I can see the aircraft in the water there. Yep, there we go. ATR spotted in the water, and we'll just come in upwind. So 80 knots now.
So I can tell you a little bit that, I'm hoping to change on the app here. Usually when the Coast Guard gets on scene, the first thing they'll do is call their what they call sector. They'll radio back the current wind information, current weather information, in case they need to bug out. Someone has up-to-date information on scene for another air asset to take over their spot, right? I'm gonna get that worked into the app just to make it even more realistic. But that requires voice lines, which are coming.
Yeah. So you want the information to be read back, or you just want to sort of give like an auditory alert that more information has come in.
Yeah, just more of an auditory alert. I don't want to have my my sound guy have to record every number that is possible with every line that's possible, or have him splice everything up a billion times, because then he'll charge me a lot of money.
Yes. Well, I think I'm doing okay here with my approach. I'm just flying all manually at the moment. I'm 35 feet above the water. We can see we've got rafts in the water with the smoke. I did do a practice run with this mission, and just lost my speed there now. We've got little strobes on the rafts, which is handy. Wouldn't mind those being a bit brighter, maybe a little bit asynchronous, so that you get a bit of a sense that it's all sorts of stuff happening live. So, gonna let that get down to about a little bit lower, because I want to be below 20 feet in theory, but I also don't want to put the aircraft in the water, and I am also live streaming. So let's get radar out on there. Don't creep forward, please, MH-60. I didn't ask for that. So we're still into the wind. 13 feet above the water. Just like you, please, to just keep this hover going for me. We'll ask for a crew hover. No, we'll ask for a hover. It's going to take me out to 20 feet, which is going to be inconvenient, because the app and our swimmer, as Matt was saying before, is...
Aft, you have over control.
Aft, I have over control.
Right, there's people on the rafts are probably going, why is this guy taking so long? So what I'll do is I'll get the app back up on screen here. So let's just double check that I can see that. Yeah. All right, good. So as you can see, I've got a new action on the app here called Target Found. So that's kind of, we'll just radio that in. And we've got the survivors up here. I've done a reasonable approach from upwind, downwind, I should say. And... descend to less than 20 feet above ground level. So, and also my aircraft is sneaking forward. Not what I want. I'm on crew hover, but I'm still going forwards. And I've just got a little switch here, one of the many switches on the Orion 2 HOTAS. I'm still going forwards. I wish you wouldn't. I'll just have to manually intervene there. And I have to manually intervene twice, actually, because we'll need to just drop below 20 feet for the next part of the mission to work. 17 feet now. 16. But I've got the survivors behind me, so I'll just see if I can just go backwards a little bit. At 15 feet. That's the view from the door. 12 feet, 11, 10, 11. And how far? There they are. So I feel like the crew hover in the updated MH-60 is not quite as rock solid as it used to be. So I'm just having to manually intervene here. And so we'll just get that reset there again. We're at 12 feet and I've got to use an Alt-Tab to get to the next app. Deploy swimmer. The door's already open. Hopefully the app doesn't mark me down for that. Does the app recognize that I opened the door manually, Matt?
It doesn't right now. In the next build, it will.
Oh, okay.
It's just a toggle right now. It's not state saving, but
open door.
In the next build, it will. Yeah, don't forget to let everyone know that there are voice commands. If you're playing maybe not as a streamer, right? You could just give those voice commands. I think you have that turned off, and that's why so you don't accidentally deploy mission items. But
oh yeah,
you can always just say open doors with those voice command, and it'll open it and deploy swimmer and stuff like that.
Right. Okay. And then like maybe a little voice prompt from the back, people saying opening the doors, swimmer out, you know, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
I'll have to ask my guy.
Let's hope your guy is a very cooperative person. All right, so what's happening now is that there's a timer running in the app. Notice that I've not used the bespoke... wow, that's a great view, isn't it? But I'm too scared to use it whilst I'm flying manually. So what I could do is I could maybe try the hover again. It's going to take us up to 20 feet.
Yeah, so...
There we go. It looks stable now. Yeah, it was creeping me forwards before. I don't quite know what that was. So we're at 22 feet above. We'll see what happens when the swimmer says they're finished.
So what you can do as well is on your MFD there, your primary flight display. If you hit mode on the left-hand side, it'll help you with your hover direction.
So, hover helper.
Your hover helper.
Love that. Yeah, no, it's a great tool. That I'd love for someone to actually develop one of these that works externally, maybe like the old input viewer that I've used on a lot of my streams, like that.
That'd be great.
Yeah. Just so that it would work with any helicopter. The apps are blocking the view. Sorry, people. Yeah, it's. I only have one screen, so I'll just get rid of that. Thank you for letting me know. Virtue Sim. Flying 77 Hobie. Do you mean Toby? I do have that, but I will actually need to get back to that app now, so I'll both remember to bring it up and put it away. So we are going to retrieve the swimmer. So I just hit the retrieve swimmer button, and as you can see, the app's now just telling us that we are hoisting. And it looks like I'm managing to maintain my position there.
And all these actions can be done through the EFB as well.
Awesome. Yeah, I get confused which ones I'm supposed to do in the EFB and which ones I'm supposed to do in the app.
They're all linked.
All right, so we have people on board. So I'm going to close the door, and I'm going to notify hospital ETA, and I'm going to hide that app, and we're just going to get heading south just while Matt tells us about the next thing that's going to happen.
Yeah. So, do you have the advanced patient simulator on, or do you have that turned off?
Oh, I thought I had it on. I've just got the default on, Matt. So we'll just get ourselves flying here and we'll sort it out.
There's two models here. If you don't want to deal with the patient simulator itself in depth, so providing care options, you just leave it off. I believe it's defaulted off. If you want to be more involved and kind of help make the decisions with the crew, so the crew is going to come up and say, hey, the patient is cold. What should we do? Their temperature's low. You can either apply rewarming measures, or you could do nothing, essentially. Every action is supposed to be linked to whether that's going to be helpful for that situation or not. It comes in really apparent when you're doing more like medevac operations. For example, if someone is low blood pressure, low heart rate, you would generally advise against administering any kind of medication that may cause a reduction in the blood pressure and heart rate.
Okay. Well, hey, Matt, just hold those thoughts there for a second, because this is really interesting, but it would be good for people to see what we're talking about here. So I thought I did have it switched on. So let me just get this, barometric altitude hold going here. I'll just have to monitor the speed a bit more closely than I did on the last leg. And so that's all under control there. So let's just get this app visible again. And so as you can see, people, now we've got some vital signs. I've got 2 patients on board. I've got do I have a brief here for the patients? No, I've got 1 patient that's critical. I thought I did have that advanced care on, Matt, but do I just turn that on in general settings over here?
I don't know if it'll hot switch.
Oh, enable advanced medical care. There it is. Ah, there we go.
It does hot switch.
Okay, it's just the audio's not going where I thought it was. I really thought I changed all of this. So Sennheiser main audio, that's what we want. Very good. Okay. Virtue Sim, you're welcome for pointing out that problem that I had caused myself before. Great flying. That's very kind of you. I was going forwards faster than I was expecting. Virtue Sim, you're a hoist operator in real life. Wow. Wow.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. Thank you for your service there, Virtue Sim. It looks like a challenging position. I'm sure you must have dealt with some pretty incredible conditions. The Zoll noises get you every time. Flighty simple. Look, if it's is it flight simple? If it gets triggering, I'll turn them off. So what else do I want to say here? VirtueSim's asking, does it also give some flight restrictions for the patients on board? Yes, it does. But I'll talk about that in a second, because what I might do initially here is just look at what we might do with these patients here. So I've got patient 1 scenario, ditched aircraft in water, severity unstable, condition. Oh, it's cut off. So can I bring that over here like that? Yes. But this is all blank for me on my screen, Matt. Is this something that that you're working on?
Yeah, it's still under development. That's been a mess to make it look nice. I'm still toying ideas of how to best present this. So the unique issue I have with this app is I'm displaying basically a map on the left-hand side and then the patient simulator on the right side. And what I don't want to do is, you know, people that just want to view the map itself in like main focus, I don't want to take that away from the panel on the right. So I'm trying to think of cooler ideas to display this, and it got messed up in the code. The full product will have a nice, clean codex, is what I'm calling it, essentially, to go with like a companion of here's what you should do and here's what you shouldn't do.
Excellent.
Here's my recommendation.
Excellent. Well, we're going to have a look at what we can do now. So I'm just pointing down the coast here. And how am I going for? I'm maybe coming a little bit more inland than what I need to. I'm only flying at 500 feet, so I'm going to be buzzing the people of Massachusetts. Are we still in Massachusetts here? Buzzing the people of Massachusetts, so sorry about that. Oh, I can see a wind farm over there. So let's just get gently leaning on the MH-60 to go in that direction. Okay, so have I left the app up the whole time? Yes, I have. Of course I have. So let's just get rid of some information here on screen. Okay, so what it's asking us to do is I'm looking at patient 1 here, heart rate 82, blood pressure was a little bit high, oxygen looks all right, respiratory rate 17, I guess that's all right. So do I want to administer sedative? I don't think so. I'm just going to restrain that patient, Matt.
Yeah, so this is something cool I just added. I forget which agency has cited this, but in a certain amount of extreme hypothermia cases, you can get a chance of the patient becoming combative.
Throwing themselves around. Yeah, wow. Amazing.
Exactly. And I decided to put that in there on a very, very low chance. I'm surprised you got it. But yeah, yeah, you basically have a combative patient that is so hypothermic that they're not really there anymore. They're not entirely sure what's going on.
Right. And so I've just clicked through the patient 2. Again, we know that they come out of the cold water. I'm going to apply warming measures. Objective right now is spelled out to us there is to fly to the Beth Israel Deaconess Hospital. So we're on the way there. I've never been to that hospital before, Matt, so I'm going to find out what it's like. I don't know what the landing pad's like.
I hope it's nice.
Good stuff. All right, so it looks like we're under control there. I'll just hide the app now until we get another beep. Now, what's my speed going? There's quite a lot to do when you are streaming, talking, chatting, thinking of good questions to ask, and maintaining your patience whilst also flying the aircraft. There's quite a lot of stuff going on here. It's a lot of stuff going on. I might climb up a little bit here because we're getting quite low now. So let's just get that altitude hold off. And we'll just allow the aircraft to climb up to about 1,000 feet. Not far to go to the hospital, actually. This is a nice short run to get our patients where they need to go. Then we'll get back down to Otis, and we'll think about what we might do for a second mission. So flight simple. For as competitive as this patient may be, there's not a lot of artifact in that EKG. Also, someone cycle that BP. Lol. Okay.
So yeah, he's right. So essentially, if you got a combative patient like that, you would expect them to be kind of moving around, right? And so you'll have that EKG start moving around. That's not quite yet coded flight symbol, but thanks for the tip, though. I'm sure you'll message me later and tell me all about it.
Excellent stuff. All right, let's get that window cap back on and let's see. So we're just getting beeped there. Patient 1, medical action. Okay, slightly elevated blood pressure. Oxygen, respiratory is still fine, and the heart rate still seems fine. Patient 1, will give them some warming measures. I think sounds sensible to someone like me who doesn't know what I'm doing. Patient 2, we'll click over to there. Looks about the same. I don't think I want to be giving them do I want to be giving them a sedative, Matt?
If they're fighting you, you might want to.
Well, okay. Okay.
It's gonna be more apparent as I get more sound packs going. You're gonna get more detail, right?
Sure.
They're gonna say, "Hey, the guy's pulling his IV out, or he's throwing hands back here. We need some help. What should we do?"
Oh dear. Okay, I know that my screen's just gone black. I was just changing something here. All right, so there we go. Flight simple. No. please explain. Please explain.
Please explain yourself.
Okay, let's just have a look at how we're going here for the hospital. That's looking... So it's looking quite close to the water. I might just switch to the other app here. Is that 1MA0? Yes, it is. So zoom right in. Okay, so I'm kind of flying blind for this because I've just not used this hospital before, so we'll find out what it's like. But we'll just do as we're told as pilots, and as the situation demands, and as our emergency dispatcher tells us what to do.
Yeah. So one cool fact I learned from the Coast Guard is all these decisions are, I guess it's not that groundbreaking, but they're all made for them. So there's a flight surgeon that's on call at all times when they're doing these medevac calls and whatnot, and they're pretty much making the decisions of where to go for that flight crew. So they'll tell them, heading over here, or here's your diversion list if that doesn't work out, etc., etc.
Patient 1, medical action is required. Well, what I need is that person right now to tell me what to do. Heart rate doesn't seem too bad. I mean, I could sedate them again. I don't know. Midazolam seems nice. I'd be relaxed. Oh, flight simple. No to sedatives. At least until you know he's beating the crap out of your flight medic, then maybe consider it. If he's combative, restrain and hit with Versed.
That's midazolam.
Yeah. Oh, okay, right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Patient 2, apply warming measures. Yeah, all right. Apply warming measures. Good. I don't think we've hurt our patients. Hopefully, too much. So the hospital's just on the other side of this bay. We are following the aircraft. That's handy. So, are we? Yes, we are. So hopefully that'll just follow along there.
Yeah, I'll tell you, it's crazy that you got that, because that was a 5% chance of popping that combative patient. I just added that in this build that you got. So maybe go play the lottery.
Yeah, well, if I go missing and stop making videos, it's because I've taken Matt's advice and won the lottery. Excellent stuff. Hello to our 30 concurrent viewers. Hope you are enjoying having a look at a new app here. It's called Emergency Dispatcher Pro. We've got the developer, Matt from Miravia Softworks on the line. Thanks for joining us and having a bit of a chat about this whilst I try to make everything happen all at once. Love a bit of having my hands full. And so we're only 4.5 nautical miles from the hospital now. We've got a easterly blowing of about, it's got up to 17 knots, Matt, so I'll need to be mindful of that when we go in there. I've got absolutely no idea what I'm going to find at this hospital. I don't know if I'm landing on the ground or on the building, so I'll have to just do a bit of a reconnaissance flight over there and see what it's all like.
Yeah, I've been racking my brain on how to decipher that. The issue is the sim doesn't... So not every helipad is actually labeled by the sim. Every helipad that I put in there is in the sim by terrain. Sometimes it's just a terrain landing pad. But not every helipad is classified if it's like a rooftop or a ground-based. So guessing there might be an issue if I start saying, oh, it's going to be a rooftop, and the user gets out there and it's on the ground.
Exactly, yeah, it could be potentially confusing. Okay, so I follow along here a bit. I'm not seeing any large hospital-like building yet. So I'm down to 100 knots, I'm pulling up the nose, I'm lowering the collective, and I'm just keeping my eyes out here. I might just get the head tracking on at this point. There we go, that might just help me have a look around here. I've got the head tracking toggle on the joystick as well, which really helps me control what I'm doing. So maybe a little bit further down here. Which town is this? Looks very pretty.
A lot of snow out there.
Yeah. I've got Mamu Designs marinas in, so you can see a few boats and jetties there, or piers on the water. Okay, I've got a large building at 12 o'clock. I wonder if that might be the hospital. I'm not sure. I'm only at 300 feet now, so I'll be making quite a bit of noise for the residents. Something which we're actually marked on. So when I actually complete this mission, I'll have the joy of seeing how badly I've done. Because Matt is a very judgy person, aren't you, Matt? Or at least your app is.
Yeah, my app is. If you look back at my Discord, the very first time I posted, so the scoring engine was an afterthought. I didn't think that would be something people would really want, which was really dumb on my part because people want that end of closed loop. And so it kind of came after the fact, and then yeah, the first time I played with it, I got like a 20 or something. I almost shut the app down.
I need to build a whole new app. Starting again.
Yeah, no, you can't insult me like that. I built you.
Oh my god, the machine's taking over. Alright, so I was wrong about the building I thought it was, so it must be, this must be the hospital complex over here. So now the art will be trying to find a landing pad.
I don't think I've been to this one.
Great, so it's the blind leading the blind here. Awesome. Alright, so do we think that could be a hospital there? I mean, ultimately, you've got some sort of an area, haven't you, Matt? So I don't need to completely get it on a helipad.
Yeah, you don't have to be right on the point, but the point should be reflective of this. So there's one thing I have noticed, and I apologize, everyone. The map data from 2024 is still outdated, and there have been a couple hospitals. I've tried to remove them, but there have been a couple hospitals that are under construction when this map data came out. Please, if you find any of those hospitals or any mismatches, please let me know by Discord so I can equate those out.
There you go, that's responsive. Okay, so because I don't know what I'm doing, I'm just going to set down in that little bit of snow over there.
I think that's the pad, yeah.
Oh, you think that's the pad? Excellent. Excellent.
I think it's covered by the snow.
Alright, let's get our parking brake on here as well. We've got our landing light on already. No, we don't. Yes, we do. Do now. Alright, let's just creep forward here, please, MH-60. And we are east into the wind. And edging forward, edging forward. It's believable this is a pad because you can see a kind of a ramp going into the building directly in front of me there. So I'll even be nice.
I think I think that snow mask is just covering any of the terrain that would have showed it.
Alright, now if I don't get butter for this landing.
Yeah, what I'd like to do is do a revamp for all these helipads. I'm trying to figure out if that's possible, where you could just install a scenery essentially and it'll just redo every helipad to make it look real nice.
Okay, so let's just get in the back. We'll open up. Oh, I left the door open the whole time. Oh, I'm losing points. I'm losing points. All right, so let's get the head tracking off and let's have a look at what the app wants us to do now. We're going to open that door and we can start unloading. Yes, I've just lost a whole lot of points because cold patients don't need a freezing cold air rushing through the cabin of the aircraft. I thought I closed that. Or did I tell the app to, but it didn't follow. Is that what happened?
You might have opened it manually and then you told the app to close it and it redid the process. Like I said, the state saving is not, it's still early works.
It's my fault.
Operator error. No, definitely my fault.
Well, yeah, we'll take 1-1 then. Okay, so we're unloading now. 24 seconds to unload, says Emergency Dispatcher Pro. And then we'll just head back down to Otis and we'll get our mission summary. I do believe that we could... Let's actually shut down my engines. Did I turn them all the way off? Yes.
Sounds like they went off.
Yeah, well, it's because I clicked too many times. What if I can start it now? There we go. I'm getting a sound effect, so it's possible. I do believe that I can tell it to end the mission and still get my score, but we could do it properly. And there it is. There, it's on the screen right now. I can either return to base, which I think I'll do, or I could end and debrief. So I'd like to return to base and do the whole mission. We're going to close that door. I'm going to hop in the back now and see if that's actually happened, or if I was just getting confused myself. Oops, wrong way. Yeah, so that's not controlling that yet, so we'll close that there. Excellent. Acknowledge that caution. And
I'm writing that down.
well, it might just be that I just did it in a weird order, so thank you. Doing a bit of live beta testing, people, or beta as some people would call it.
Oh, that sounds like an American accent, Dig.
Oh boy, tomato. Let's call it all off. So look, that's looking good there. That is looking good there. So it looks like we're just coming back up to speed here. I just I clicked the condition levers one step further back than what I meant to. 34 viewers, hope you're enjoying your first look. If you've not joined a Miravia Softworks public beta before, Matt has been putting iterations of the app up on his Discord and inviting people to send in their feedback. You've just closed a window, haven't you, Matt? When's the next one?
Yeah, next one starts Friday. So what day is that? That is the 27th at 8 a.m. Zulu, and then it'll run until
8 a.m.
Monday.
Zulu. Put it on your alarm clock,
8
people.
a.m.
You can fly this yourself.
Yeah, luckily I put in the nice little Discord helper that the Unix timeline, so you can see exactly what that would be in your time, and then it'll run till Monday the 2nd, and then another beta will come up. Essentially, I'm not gonna do early access. I've been very open about this. I want to make sure that everyone has a full, complete product when it's available for sale. So this is my way to get a lot of the bugs out, and the community has been immensely helpful in pointing stuff out, or even telling me hey, this is dumb, don't do that. I'd be like, all right, that's fine. I agree.
Yeah, it's a art, isn't it? With I mean, there's that phenomenon of beta players rather than beta testers, where people, it's kind of understandable in a way. Like there's a new product and they just want to have a go and see what they can experience themselves inside it. But on the other hand, I think pit flight simmers are generally pretty technically capable people and sort of detail oriented in many cases. And so it sounds like you've got a pretty good kind of target audience, Matt, in terms of working out people who are going to be able to give you useful feedback.
Yeah, some of the feedback is spot on, and I'm like, yeah, you know what, you're right. Some of the feedback is you saw that? I didn't even see that. And I tell people that about beta testing all the time. Is I can only test it in the way that my brain thinks, and that's why it's invaluable to have so many different brains going. Why did this happen? Did you not? Oh, you didn't do it the exact way I did it. Weird. That's where a lot of bugs come from, right?
Yeah.
You tested
assumptions.
You tested the exact way you do it. Yeah, exactly. Your assumptions are going to be wrong because that's not how everyone else thinks. So
it's cool. It's really great having an opportunity to speak with a developer like this. What I notice, Matt, is that you're someone who's just really transparent, and you want people to have a look at what's available, and it'd be easy to be, I don't know, defensive as well, you know what I mean, don't you? I don't want to be,
100%.
I don't want to be rude about it, but people, it can be pretty eye-watering receiving. I was going to say negative feedback, but feedback that you might feel is attacking the core value of what you thought was going to be really good about your precious new app that you spent all this time developing. But credit to you, Matt. I actually really admire the fact that you're fronting up like this. You've given me a beta copy of the of Emergency Dispatcher Pro to put it up on a live stream so that people can kind of see it while it's under development. So I think this is really cool. Thank you.
Yeah, like I told you from day one, the first day we got to chat, which was awesome. The only thing I don't want to do on a stream is waste everyone's time, and I think the beta is now in a stable state where you can get out there and fly and show it off. There's still going to be some issues here and there because we're not released yet, but I'm not hiding anything. It's under beta. It's in active development, and feedback helps. Yeah, sometimes it hurts. Sometimes it's a gut punch, but you know what? A lot of good ideas and a lot of truth is sometimes a gut punch, and you either got to deal with that in a constructive way, or you get defensive and you get angry and then you don't fix it, right? But at the end of the day, the user wants to be able to play with this, and I want to make sure that I'm trying at least my best as a simmer myself, right? And
Yeah.
that's how I try. Is would I actually be on the interwebs getting angry about this if I was the simmer? And if that answer is yes, then I make sure I do my darndest to make sure it happens.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, good on you. So a couple of questions. Virtue Sim, would this be doable in virtual reality too? Yes. Matt was talking about that before. The EFB app I'm showing you on screen right now. I'll just check that that's fully visible to you. I think it is. Yes. This is the VR solution. So you can have this in the EFB. And you can do the basic directions. You can put in all of the actions that I was clicking in the main app. It's just that the desktop app's got a few more things like the patient vital signs. So Matt might talk about that a little bit later. We'll talk about sort of what you can do and what you can't do. As it turns out, I thought I had it switched on, but I had switched off the advanced patient care. It seems to me in virtual reality that you might be able to maybe skip that part of the simulation if it's like too much for you to handle with all the other VR stuff happening. Matt, let's save that conversation for maybe our next mission if you want to stick around.
Absolutely.
So a question from Magnus. Any chance to release it for Xbox? Over to you, Matt.
Oh, I would love to. The truth is there's so many Xbox and PlayStation users, and everything I've looked at right now, V1 cannot be on Xbox and PlayStation. As much as I'd love to, the real issues is just the run times of everything that happens. It requires a PC. That's not set in stone though. So just like the EFB app, it's just something I've pivoted off for at this time. It's just not worth the dev lift at the time. But it is worth the dev lift. It's just me. That's the problem. It's just me by myself doing all this stuff. So V1 will not include an Xbox and a PlayStation release. However, that's not to say that V2, V3, so on will include that. Especially as Microsoft kind of makes the experience for Xbox and PlayStation users more robust. I've said this on my Discord, and I'll kind of keep it short. My biggest issue is I would have to gut a lot of the app's core features to make it function well on the Xbox and the PlayStation, and that just doesn't seem fair. That wouldn't seem fair to the Xbox users who are seeing PC streamers and whatnot play with it and go, wait, where's all the functionality?
Where's
right?
that stuff? I want that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So right now, no, but I hope so, man. For me personally, because it's just cool. I want everyone to be able to enjoy this, but it's got to be done right, in my opinion.
Yeah, an interesting one, isn't it? I mean, I don't know if there's any model for this that's already happened with other developers making other products, but if there was something like Emergency Dispatcher X or something that was a slightly, a bit more, Well, light is just kind of, that's not really, I would imagine, the image that you want from a marketing perspective.
That's the problem. Is you would lose the patient simulator, you would lose the rendering of the models, because quite frankly, if you throw that into the simulation environment, like for example on the EFB, it creates a whole new mess of problems, and it would really hurt the FPS for the user, right? Yeah. The Xbox limited in VRAM and CPU capacity, so is the PlayStation, even though it's a little bit faster than the Xbox Series X and whatnot. It would just be basically, if I were to throw it in there right now at its current state, it would just throw the sim objects in there for you and allow you to run through the missions, but that's it. That's all you would be able to get out of it.
Sure. Well, we are in our 6 nautical miles to get ourselves back down to Otis. I would love it if there could be an Otis scenery. For the next mission I'll just zip over to Kodiak, and we'll run a mission from Kodiak. And we'll leave it up to Matt if he wants to stick around and watch me fly around a bit more, or whether he wants to go on and get moving with some other stuff. But I'd love it if the benefit with Kodiak, if you've bought the MH-60 pack from Miltech and Blackbird, is that you get the mini scenery of the Kodiak station. So that's sort of just a really nice little way to operate your MH-60 in like slightly more realistic scenery. Here at the Joint Base Otis in Massachusetts, Cape Cod, I'm just running the default scenery, so there's nothing too special here yet. I think someone on flightsim.to has done just a basic hangar for the Coast Guard portion of Otis. I just didn't use it today just to keep it all a bit more simple before I added a whole lot of extra complexity by reinstalling Windows last night, but that's on me. So yeah, what do you reckon, Matt? Would there be any kind of what could you do to help people get a better experience at places like Otis, which is one of your key locations in the app?
That's a good question.
Just support, encourage.
That's a good question that I can't answer.
Yeah.
No, all seriousness, there are some talks and some ideas for me, and again, they're just ideas of trying to release not I&I builds level or who's the other one, MK Studios
Sure.
level of scenery, but maybe something that just makes it look a little nicer. For these airports that are underserved or underdeveloped, I guess, by the default sim. Yeah, because it kills me inside too. When I went out to the I'm blanking on the name. You're calling it Otis, but I know it as FMH. Farmingham, I think is the name of the town in Massachusetts. Anyways, yeah, when I go out there, it's bland and it's just kind of a meh.
Nothing to get excited about.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be kind of cool with a few like Coast Guard scenery objects out there or something. That is an idea I have, but I can't promise that. At least not for V1.
Yeah, well, these things are iterative, and sometimes the community support can be helpful. I mean, we are getting the MH-65 as well from Taug's hangar before hopefully too much longer, so that's another little motivator for someone maybe to think about helping out the community or making a contribution of their own to at least improve Otis here a little bit, maybe even just with some parking points and helipads up here at the Coast Guard apron. I mean, I could do that. I'm not going to develop new 3D models, but I could at least put the helipads and things in before someone makes a proper scenery.
I'll write you down. I'll pencil you in for next week, right? Is that your ETA, your deadline?
If time were free. Question from Flying 77. Have you incorporated AI into your Emergency Dispatcher Pro?
Yeah, so I thought about doing some kind of like AI pack early in the development. I think that's what you're referring to. Just it's not the cost effectiveness is not there. So this project is 100% self-funded by me. I have no external backers, no external funding. This is all from me, and it's kind of like a make or break, I guess, for Miravia. I mean, I'm going to continue developing cool stuff because I like stuff. But yeah, I mean, right now I got to be tight on the budget and just make sure I'm not overspending, so this doesn't become, that scary word known as abandonware, where I put all these resources in and I try my best, and then I run out of money and I can't do it anymore, right? So not yet, but hopefully maybe some integrations with like say intentions or beyond ATC. That would be really cool. We'll see. I know they have their own thing, so they may not be keen to want to integrate, but I am open to almost anything.
Well, you heard it there first, people. If you've got some bright ideas for how the software can work in partnership nicely with other outlets, you know the person to speak to.
No, absolutely. I'm pretty active in my Discord, so come on in, tell me your thoughts, your opinions, whatnot. I'll at least tell you, I'll at least respond to them. I can't promise them all, but I will at least respond to them with my best educated guess about whether or not that's something feasible to be done in the short term, near term, or far term, or not at all.
Yes, what do they say? Now, next, or not yet?
I usually just say second Tuesday of next week for my timing.
Oh dear. All right, so we have made it back to Otis, and I'm reasonably happy with my approach there from the west into the wind. So we'll just get back down here on the pad where we started from. And
Hey Matthew, do me a favor.
Yep.
Before you click on debrief, let's take a guess on what your score might be. Number wise.
Okay, I think I flew pretty smoothly, so I don't think I'm going to get too many markdowns for that. Although I find it pretty sensitive on the smoothness. I think my patient...
It is, 100%.
Okay, I think my patient care was okay. I think I left the door open, but a bit of a question mark over whether the app might have recognised that or not. So we had hypothermic patients on board that I was very unkind to because I left the door open with that freezing cold air coming in. So not ideal. So I'm thinking that I'm hoping that I've scored 50% or more.
Well, that was a wide net you put there. I would say, and my app might still be a little too hard, the build you have has reduced or attempted to reduce those the abrupt control inputs, so the rapid acceleration, deceleration, or side-to-side motion. I reduced that in this build you have. I'm going to say at least 79 on the score.
Oh, okay, that's kind of you. All right,
I really hope it's there.
Okay, I'm going to hit debrief, and I just need to get this into a browser window that I can share. So you just hold, because Matt's just seen it, because he can see stuff that other people
Sorry.
can't. So, so I've scored kind of okay, but let's just swap a couple of things around here. I need to, no, not that one. I need to wind caps, and I need to just pause that one for a second. I need to get this up, and I need to get that debrief going, and I bring that up here. So there's my score. What do you think about
amazing.
that? What do you think about that?
My tweaks helped.
Your tweaks helped. What about my flying?
That's what I'm saying. Is I think I've watched one of my other friends. He's also kind of close testing it for me, fly it, and he got just a bad score, and I'm like, that's too much.
That's
and I kind of narrowed it down. Yeah, that was too much. He was sitting there planning. He was doing orbits, like actually actively planning out loud. Like, all right, there's some trees. Like, it sounded like a real Coast Guard pilot, and he got like a 62, and I'm like, nah, that's wrong.
So I've done very well. I've scored 94 points out of 100. That's great. Here I was marked down for a little bit of smoothness. I was marked down for a tailwind approach. I'm not sure if that was on the at the rescue site or on the landing. A little bit of urban noise exposure. Notice that I was actually going out to sea again on my way out of the hospital, so I did try to keep that in mind. Safety, pretty good. Oh, that's just those same points again. Precision and airmanship. Oh, here are my landings at the, what's that? The hospital and the base. Hospital was only 63 feet per minute. That's butter, and soft back here at base, so that's not too bad. Efficiency.
You did call at the hospital. You said this is going to be a butter. There you go.
Oh, I'm pleased to have been rewarded by the application for that. Medical interventions plus 3 points there, or plus 3 on the score. And then we've got the whole audit trail here. This will take us all day if we were going to go through here, because you're comprehensive, Matt. You are comprehensive in how you show people what they've scored.
A little too much. This was kind of, again, the scoring was an afterthought, so a lot of this was just me wanting to put everything out there. It's gonna need to get trimmed up a little bit, because yeah, it reads like a novel.
So minute by minute, that's interesting. This will tell me where I got the tailwind, will it? Oh, there it is. Hover detected. Oh, I didn't. Maybe you did it at the hospital. That's interesting.
It might have. The map should show you the little marker where you got a penalty as well.
Oh, right. Okay. The map. Oh, okay. Plus. Oh, look at you go. Plymouth was that town. Noise exposure. Sorry, Plymouth. Noise exposure. Can't really help that. You live next door to a hospital. I can't do anything about it. Tailwind during approach and hover. Okay, so if I had gone further inland, I would have got more of a noise impact on the community, wouldn't I? So that was a bit
It could have also shifted. The sim does this thing where it likes to shift the wind sometimes, and maybe my sense of tuning needs to come down a little bit, like a little bit more of a grace period, I guess. So it's not so instantaneous. It has a little bit of a buffer on right now, but you know, again, right now, the more people that fly it, the more I can see the scores. So the way it works in the back end is your scores are sent over to me, but they're completely anonymized. I can't see who did it or what they did unless you tell me, I did this mission, I got this number, and I go, oh, okay, that was you. All it does is help me tune these scores down so I can see the bell curve, I can see where people are at, and adjust it from there. Looks like the temperature is still not adjusting, at least for the debrief. I had this bug where it was locked at 32. So for anyone out there that is not of the metric system persuasion, 37 is a healthy human body temperature.
So we're well below that. I think we're into fatal territory down here.
No, 25 I think is fatal.
Wow.
That's
incredible.
And 28 is where the patient should start to become combative at like a 5% rate.
Wow.
There's also this weird phenomenon where people that are extremely hypothermic will start undressing.
Yeah.
And the scientists still don't even understand that. But that's also about the time where they become
strange,
combative.
isn't it?
Yeah, you're right. It's crazy.
All right, so that's very good. So I propose to take a very short break, and I'm going to spawn back in. I might do the spawn in now, and I'm going to go over to. Oh, it's getting evening in Massachusetts. I'm going to go over. I'm going to change aircraft, of course, because that's important. We need the correct livery on our MH-60. I don't want to get any hate mail about choosing the wrong one. Mullenboo comment there. Who cares? Who cares about noise pollution? It's an emergency. I completely agree with you. Let's get that lovely Kodiak livery.
I have an amazing retort to that.
Go on. You retort away.
You would think that would be taken into consideration. It is not. The real U.S. Coast Guard, the real emergency medical services will routinely get noise complaints. Now, that doesn't mean they're going anywhere, right? That someone's going to penalize them. It's just a more reflective thing that happens in the real world. Is you get out there and all of a sudden someone's with binoculars saying, there's an airplane flying really low and close to my house, and they're like on approach to
call the police. What's this helicopter doing next to the hospital?
Exactly. It's disturbing my afternoon nap. So not knowing that there's like 6 people on board with severe medical conditions that they just say, but it is what it is. The actual logic is it's gated in a certain area of the hospital and within a certain altitude. And then outside of that, it's the overpopulated areas. It's not everywhere that's a city. So kind of the best way to look at it is if you look on like a VFR sectional and you see built up areas, that should be reflective of the built up areas that DD Pro is scoring you as a urban area.
Okay, that is awesome. I am going to do... Virtue Sim, can you wait 2 minutes for us to answer that question? Matt, could you at least stick around for me to start the new mission and then see how you feel? I'm going to just...
I'm not going over.
Oh, you are so great. I'm going to take the quickest break, and we will be back on board real soon, people. So enjoy a lovely exterior view of our excellent MH-60 on the ground in Kodiak, Alaska. For the next mission that we'll do, we'll choose a different sort of mission. Matt can help us guide a nice one, and we will be right back. Oh, and guess what? So my... let me just fix the fact that the screen capture again is not working here. Why have I made that so bad? Oh, I see. It's actually completely disappeared. So I've had a bit of a rough day in terms of things disappearing from where I thought they were going to be. I'm slowly getting there. So that is the one that I want. So Matt can see what I'm doing, but thankfully other people can't. So we'll just get back to this scene. We'll paste this item in here, put it in here, and now it's not in the place it's supposed to be. All right, well, do you know what? Just look at that. Oh, my life. All right, back in a couple of minutes, people. All right, let's see if we can get ourselves back on track. We'll find an excellent mission to do here in Alaska. And Virtual Sim, if you can wait 1 more minute for me to answer your question, we'll just get this mission started up, and we'll take it from there. So, win cap. Which one do I need? I need the one with ED Pro, so we change that there and bring that up here. Right, so Emergency Dispatcher Pro still thinks we're in Cape Cod. I'm just going to change that to Kodiak. And there is us on the map at our excellent scenery that was provided as part of the MH-60 pack for MSFS 2024 and 2020 from Miltech. So, Matt, which mission do you think we should do? I've left it on ditched aircraft for now, but which one would you like to see us do?
Do you want a real challenge? The mountain rescue. So the special mission mountain rescue that's challenging, especially in the Pacific Northwest.
I haven't done that one yet, so what am I getting myself into here?
So you will be tasked to find a group of hikers that either have a medical condition, or they're out in the elements, or something per the brief, and you're gonna head out there and go find it. Those ones can be a little long. There should be a shorter one in the Kodiak area. I don't know what the distance is on that one.
That looks, 149 nautical miles. Is that the complete flight? Yeah. So shall I just go dispatch and will it roll it again, or what will happen?
Yeah, roll it again. Should be one closer to Kodiak.
That's again.
They can't get farther though.
We just got the blue. I think that's even further. 191 nautical miles. 158. No. Let's see what it does. 158. 157. Matt, what are you doing to us? And this one's. Do you know what? Oh, is that 158 nautical miles or the whole loop?
Yeah. So this mission actually ignores your time constraints, just because it's in certain areas. So in Kodiak, it's going to be the ice fields up in the area. This one, you're going to get some kind of farther away ones. So maybe not this one for Kodiak. Let's see what else. The ditch or the overdue. The overdue mission can be a lot of fun. It's sometimes just too realistic, so I might turn that down. But basically, you can get out there and you can have a sinking ship. You can have someone that's just dead in the water. You can have a medevac case that's going to happen, or you could have someone that is absolutely fine and they're wondering why you're there.
Okay. All right, I'm liking this. So what we've got now is we've got a 46 nautical mile mission, and so the brief is as follows. We've got an overdue report received with limited details. Last known position as a starting point. Use the last known position as a starting point. Attempt voice and visual contact. Based on last known position and transport time, deliver any injured to Providence Kodiak Island Medical Center, the general helipad. Oh, thank you. It's got all the information there. A regional receiving hospital for definitive care. So, do you like the sound of that, Matt? Shall we try that one?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
So the little tidbit of information here is that helipad is not very oftenly used. I don't even know if it's still in the works. That's a small helipad next to their medical center. This is on my list, but one of the things they usually do is for serious cases, they'll just bring them back to base, and like a life flight will, or even themselves sometimes will just medevac them to Anchorage.
Right. Okay. Right. Well, we'll have to see what that's like. So I'm going to. So what have we got here for weather? I'll just get rid. Oh, so the weather's actually written in here as well. Actually, no, it's not. We don't have weather coming through. I'm stuck on loading METAR and loading TAF. So.
Yeah, hit the refresh for me on that.
Oh, okay. There we go. Yeah, refresh and still no.
Yeah, it'll take a minute.
Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay, so METAR, we've got a norwesterly of about 11 knots. Good to know. There's all the rest of our details. Nothing there to make this too difficult. 7 degrees in Kodiak today. It's tropical stuff.
Shorts weather.
It got very cold water, 2.5 degrees, extreme hypothermia risk if there's anyone in the water. And there's the METAR for the hospital, which is the same. So no problems there. just getting a couple of errors just with the stream, so sorry if there's just been any jumping around with the stream. But I'm going to take off, and I'll answer Mullenboo's question as well. So, what did I say? To the northwest, and that's 11 knots. Okay, so I'm currently fighting which window I want to be in. So we will use the wheels, parking brake off on the excellent. Which view do I want here? I'll just turn it around. I'll do a sort of a 180. That's what I'll do. So, Mullenboo, you're asking, landing light goes on, does my joystick automatically center itself, or is it just like a damper on the pedals? So, my stick, this is a Orion 2 HOTAS, and what I've done is I've taken all the springs out, and I have left the rubber boot on, obviously, and that is the only return to center force comes from the rubber boot at the base, which I'm finding is a great way to operate. I've probably been getting a bit of a downdraft from the slope coming from up here, but I'll try, and I don't think I'll do a backwards takeoff here. We'll actually just get up to a hover, and we'll just proceed directly ahead, and then turn to get onto our course. That's what we'll do here. Alright, so pulling collective, aft cyclic is required in the MH-60 to not slide forward. And we're green across the board, and so we can pitch down with the nose, get moving here, and we want to be heading northeast. Actually, I think I did that entirely wrong, but I think I might have got something flipped around there, but anyway, in my head, but anyway, we'll proceed like that didn't happen, and get ourselves...
I saw nothing.
Thank you very much. I'll get ourselves pointing out to sea here. A beautiful day in Kodiak.
Beautiful day. I was thinking that in my head.
Alright, let's just get here. Oh, Virtue Sim, that's what you did with your HOTAS Warthog. Yeah. Someone... was it you, Virtue Sim, who was commenting on one of my earlier videos about the Warthog that was basically so stiff that you couldn't use it? Was that you or someone else? Okay, so we've got 1,300 feet on. Don't need to be any higher than that, really. I'll just let it sort of trim itself out at that point. I'll be gathering speed. Just reduce that vertical descent there. And once I've got all this stabilized, we'll just get back to the mission. Well, we're going for the mission, but I just want to get all of this right here. So, barrow hold. We're at 160 knots. Landing light is off. Sorry, it was on, and now it goes off. And so, as you can see, I'll just get this a bit bigger. As you can see, we are avoiding the town, and we'll fly out over the water here and hug the coast whilst we get up here and investigate this this overdue ship. Go ahead, Matt.
You can also, if you do want to fly over town, just make sure you're doing it like I think 1,000 is safe to say above the ground.
Because no one can hear an MH-60 if it's more than 1,000 feet above you.
No, but you gotta create some nice little getaways for the user, right? In case there is no absolute way to get over. Like right now, Kodiak is amazing because the weather is allowing you to just navigate away from it, which is what I've been told is what they'll do in real life is just try to get away from cities. But let's say there's a giant cloud over there in the channel, you're going to be kind of forced to either go IFR or navigate around.
Well, no problems from here today. So I might actually be able to scope the hospital with the binoculars. It's right on the waterline there, so the hospital's in here somewhere. What happens if I just try and get the binoculars on that now? The chase plane binoculars. Not a lot of helpful information yet there, but we'll just keep that ready there and have another look in there. Virtuesim. Oh, it wasn't you who was commenting about the Warthog, but it is really stiff with the big spring inside. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm really happy with this Orion 2, which I bought secondhand, so it's worked out really well for me. This all looks like generic scenery just at the moment, so let me just... The hospital, is it in here? It's kind of at that point there. I'll just try and binocular it one more time.
Yeah,
it's all generic in here, is it, Matt?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, alright, okay. Another little opportunity there for someone to model even a sort of a generic hospital to plonk on there and put a helipad in there would just be great for everyone else. So thank you, for imaginary person who's going to help make this better. Are there, from Skolalatania, sorry if I've got your name wrong, are there handcrafted hospitals with helipads made for the missions, or default MSFS 2024 are used? Well, as we see, it's default. So, Matt, you've not put in any scenery objects at all, other than the dynamic ones that you place for the mission, right?
Yeah, no scenery objects yet. Again, the hope is I can, at least for the helipads, figure out a way to just force them all to look like good helipads. That's a thought I have, is just basically a global helipad redo, at least for the ones that I have the coordinates for. So it won't do like, ones that are outside the scope for this app. But because, again, there's sometimes they look really great. Southern California, for example, or the Seattle helipads or whatnot, the big city helipads that everyone knows, generally are modeled very nicely. And then you get some of these other ones which are real legit helipads that are used, and they're kind of like terrain slumps.
Yeah.
Sometimes they have a little bit of a marking, and I'm like, that's not cool.
Well,
so, yeah, I would
there's an opportunity there for someone to put. I mean, there are generic objects inside Microsoft Flight Simulator that anyone could place themselves, and you can just upload it to flightsim.to, and then other people can have it as a hospital. Virtuesim, I'm so sorry, I neglected your question from before. Let me put that to Matt now. Matt, what would be great is if there were some voice marshalling call-outs from the hoist operator to guide the pilot above the target. What do you think about that?
We've talked about this one, haven't we? There are some ideas that I have floating in my head right now to explore that opportunity right now. Your co-pilot, your first officer, is being recorded. There's a certain someone out there that is going to basically be your salty veteran first officer. He's going to be there telling you, things like you're going too fast, slow down, get a little higher, and then more like reading out briefs and whatnot. Not the exact one that you see, but more generalized. So that's in the works. And then I had this thought, and Matthew and I were talking about it, is what if we had someone in the back as like your flight mech, right? Like if you have a combative patient, he's coming up there saying, hey, the patient is, throwing hands with me, or he's ripping his IV out, which I do. So that is definitely being thought of, and I would love to explore that opportunity. I just got to make sure that it works within the dev timeline, and it doesn't delay anything. But most importantly, it doesn't take too long to get it going.
Sure. Something that I haven't mentioned yet is that if I were just to bring up the app again, then I'll have to remember to put it away. Something you can do. Windows cap. So now that's not working. Okay, let's just quickly investigate that. ED Pro, bring that back, please. Have I closed the app? Is that what's... Have I closed the app? No, I haven't. There it is. It was just minimized or something. Okay, now... Okay. Now that matters. All right, I'm having a great time with my stream today. As I said to people who might not have been here earlier, I did reinstall Windows yesterday because I was getting so fed up with... I was getting too many random crashes, and I was just getting a bit cross with things. So what I will... I'll just check my speed. Looking good down there. Okay, so now it's going to stay up. Okay. Shrug. What we can do is we can actually export the flight plan from ED Pro. Now, I've not needed to do that today because it's simple enough, and I'm just flying manually in quite an automated helicopter. I can export the flight plan. I have done this. It does work, and then you can import it into the flight sim. And if you're in an aircraft that has an autopilot that'll fly you, the MH-60 pack from Miltech and Blackbird does not have LNAV, so it won't guide you between nav points, but that option is available to you in other aircraft that do have that. For instance, if you're flying the S-76 from Cowan Simulations and you were doing HEMS missions or something using Emergency Dispatcher Pro, you would be able to have that. You'd be able to export the flight plan from this app and then load it up in the flight simulator to have the autopilot guide you. I did see that work in the MH-60, and it was just visible over on this monitor over here. I could have the flight plan visible on there. So that's kind of a cool feature, Matt, that you added, just to be able to export the flight plan.
Yeah, it also helps maybe newer users that aren't familiar with how to do search patterns. It'll give you two style of search patterns. One of them is really good. The other one is still needing some work on optimization. It draws kind of weird. You get two options of expanding square search patterns or a creeping line search pattern. That creeping line is the problematic child right now that I'm still hammering with a massive hammer. But I also am thinking about adding the sector search, which is kind of like a giant star over a certain area. You can either set it yourself, you can force it to go to one option, you can let the app choose. The app will choose based on the mission type, so some missions are more suited for a creeping line, some are just more suited for an expanding square. I won't get into that because that's a lot, but I think it's posted somewhere in my Discord, the search and rescue searches. If it's not, I'll look through that and make sure I post that.
I've got the leaf blowing crew right outside my window right now, so I'll keep this short. But but what you've got, I mean, if you don't fancy flying the whole search pattern yourself, you can kind of cheat and look at the EFB and see where the sim objects have been loaded in. And Simblitz, excellent YouTuber, has just joined us as well. Hello, Simblitz. Come and have a look at our Emergency Dispatcher Pro chat with wonderful Matt from Miravia Software. So, Matt, what do you want to do in terms of guiding people into good practice, shall we say, in terms of search patterns? Like, what can you do and what do you want to do? And what do you want to encourage people in terms of how they fly these missions?
Yeah, so the app scoring actually tries to, and this is still being continuously worked on, but it does try to guess what search pattern you are trying to fly. It can tell if you were assigned one, so when you hit save that flight plan, it'll kind of log it to memory that the type of search pattern that you wanted or were assigned if you did auto. And then it's going to try to analyze how well you flew that search pattern as well. And that's going to be in the efficiency tab. So if you're kind of not flying a really tight search pattern, you're flying it really fast, it should ding you points. And if you're flying it really well, it should not ding you points. That's the working model. Again, all these things need a little bit of tuning as we go on and I get more data. The fun part is if you have scoring on, which you can turn off, you can turn the scoring system completely off if that's not your fancy. If you have scoring on and you do cheat, you will get a little bit of a point deficit because it will be able to detect if you just kind of beeline to a target versus searching for it. Again, that's not 100%, so the scoring impact is not massive, but it is like a haha, we gotcha. The reason for that is not just a haha, I got you. It's really one thing a lot of users have suggested is some kind of like global opt-in scoring board to explain like,
ooh, healthy competition.
Exactly, yeah, share your scores, right? Like who got the best score on what. And so it's a fine balance at that point, because if everyone's getting 100%, then the scoreboard has nothing to really show for. But if everyone's getting 50%, the scoreboard also has really nothing to show for. So sure. It's a ballet of tuning.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how that comes along. People have got to beat 94, which is the high score that I set today on the ditched aircraft rescue. So go and beat that, people, when you next got an opportunity to fly the open beta. So if you've just joined the stream, Matt from Miravia Software is it's the beta window's not open just yet, but it's coming really soon. You can try this for yourself, and the most useful thing you could give Matt is your feedback. What works, what could be better, maybe some new ideas within reason that he might be able to implement into his Emergency Dispatcher Pro. And when does that beta window open again, Matt?
Yeah, beta opens Friday. You keep making me look at my calendar. Friday the 27th at 8 a.m. Zulu. So if you go to the Discord on the announcements page, it'll time convert to your current time zone. So you don't have to do all that math. But I stick with Zulu. It's just easier that way. 8 a.m. Zulu is 9 a.m. for me. I live in Germany. And that gives the west coast of the United States pretty good coverage. And then it also gives, I feel like, in my opinion, the rest of the world pretty good coverage. But please, anyone that has a problem with the times, I am open to feedback. I love feedback. Feedback helps me make a better app for everyone that wants to play with it, right? To sim with it, to use it. And without feedback, I'm kind of shooting in the dark for what I like, and other people have other ideas. My favorite suggestion I got of all time was he's now one of my closed alpha testers, but he was one of the earlier supporters of the project. And my website, I remember I posted on Reddit about the project, and he's like, yeah, your website has a searchlight. That's kind of weird. I don't like it. And he wasn't the first person to tell me that, but he was definitely the person that resonated, because it was a stranger on Reddit for my first time posting about it. And I was like, yeah, you know what? You're not the first person. Let me rip that out. And I guess I gained his trust by actually listening to him, that the searchlight was dumb. I thought it was cool at the time, but I guess some people were like, I don't like that.
Well, it's amazing. I mean, that's the benefit of opening it up. We were talking about this before. It can be a bit eye-watering for a developer to get that kind of it can feel like negative feedback, but it's all constructive if you choose to look at it in that way. The feedback's in the mindset of both the giver and the receiver, I feel. Simblitz, hey, thanks very much for the positivity there. It sounds really cool and exciting. This Emergency Dispatcher Pro add-on. Simblitz looks forward to checking it out himself as well. So yeah, he's another YouTuber, Matt, so you can perhaps open yourself up to a new audience there as well by cooperating with Simblitz, another Aussie Microsoft Flight Simulator streamer. Good to have you aboard today, Simblitz.
Let's go.
Mullenboo,
I got nothing but love for the Aussies.
Go on.
I was just saying, I got nothing but love for the Aussies down there. You guys survive some stuff that terrifies me. Spiders terrify me, and you guys have spiders that... It's one of the... I kid you not, Matthew, it's one of the reasons that I am always hesitant to go on down there, is I don't know what I would do in that situation. I don't.
What, if you saw a spider?
If I saw a spider the size of a small chihuahua, I don't know what to do in that situation.
What do I do? What you do is you go, wow, what a cool spider, and you don't touch it. So that's what I do.
Do I not make eye contact with it? Do I back away slowly and make noise? Like, how do I get away from it?
Look, I live in an urban environment in the south of Australia, the city of Melbourne, and I've only ever had 2 huntsman spiders in the place. The huntsmen are the ones that are the size of a little side plate. Simblitz, most Aussie also hate spiders. Thing is I love wildlife, and I'm like, oh, where's my camera? I can put it on iNaturalist. iNaturalist is like you take a photo of the flower or the bug or the bird or whatever you've seen, and and people identify it, and it goes into like this database of what people are seeing where and when. And it's really cool. You feel like you're contributing. So yeah, my first reaction was to go, oh my god, it was on the window. First of all, I just need to determine if that's inside or outside. If it's outside, I'm comfortable. If it's inside, huntsmen are large and they have a habit of moving very, 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 very fast. They're completely harmless. They're completely harmless to humans, and they basically are your friend. They're going to eat all the bugs in your house for you. So just leave them alone. I say huntsmen are cool. You persuaded?
So I laughed because you said you were going to post it online, and I can just imagine either myself or even my wife opening one of those posts and going, oh my god.
That website's going on the blacklist.
Yeah, and also you having the debate of is it inside or outside, that doesn't matter. The house is getting burned down at that point. inside, outside, 5 kilometers away. So no.
Land visual only the size of a small plate. That's enough for me. Hilarious.
Yeah, and the fire department will be like, "What happened?"
You saw a spider.
Weirdest thing, there was a spider. Yeah. It had to burn down. I'm sorry. Tell the insurance. I'm sorry.
Yeah. What does insurance say when you burn your house down to protect yourself from a spider? Oh my God, that is funny. That is funny. So here's our situation, people. We've got, to remind you, if you've just joined us, we've got a overdue boat. So we've just had a report of an overdue boat that's not called in, and so we think it's in about that region here. We're pointing that our MH-60 there now. I think I'm descending now. I am. So I'm at 2,000 feet now. I just climbed up to pass over that little range of mountains or hills there. I love the binoculars, picking up all the grime on the windscreen, the binoculars inside chase plane here. Love those. Not quite picking it up yet. Possibly a bit of feedback there, Matt, is that if the objects that you were placing could have even more visibility at long range. I think for the water rescues especially, I don't know if you can differentiate that, but it would sort of be helpful to be able to see things from further out. But yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, so there's a couple limitations here. And I'm happy to share them. So at a certain distance, and I would have to check my notes to figure out what that distance is again, but at a certain distance the terrain is not 100% modeled. You can kind of see that when you're binocularing around and you look out and the terrain's kind of like lumpy. So there's a slight guard that protects the objects that are being spawned in from accidentally being spawned under the terrain.
Oh yeah.
And that's just because the terrain's still normalizing as you get closer. One of the ways I test a lot of these missions is I fly on slew mode, right? So I'm doing Top Gun Maverick stuff, doing 4,000 knots in an MH-60, and yeah, early in my testing I realized, yeah, exactly. Early in my testing I realized that the terrain would actually swallow them even if I put them on the ground. That's just because the terrain's not there yet. So that's issue number 1. Issue number 2 is the LOD. So the load was it the
level of detail?
Yep, level of detail. Thanks. Sorry, it is.
You've got develop
58 for me.
Oh, you're doing right. He stayed up late just for the stream, so you're very kind,
yeah,
mate. Good to have you along.
Exactly. The level of detail. It's dependent on the asset itself. So there are a few assets that I've created and that you have right now that beta testers won't have yet. Those are the ones that I've paid for and made sure that they're they look good. Yeah. And then there's the Microsoft Flight Simulator assets, which are also being used. And so those have that set LOD. The boats, for example, the aircraft are the Microsoft default assets. However, we are working on getting some really cool new ones, including visual effects. I don't want to go too far into that because, again, what I don't like to do is overpromise and then things fall out and I'm like, oh, well, sorry. But as the details come, they will be more set in stone and concreted into the Discord. But as of right now, yes, we're working on some more assets that look and feel better and just will be better overall experience.
Nice.
One thing I want to point out for this boat mission, and actually all boat missions in the external app, it'll show you what boat you're to be looking for.
So you've implemented some kind of like visual, like a postcard kind of image, so you've got a sense of the shape of the boat you're looking for, yeah?
Correct. You got a faxed copy of a vessel photo.
Love it.
That you're looking at a black and white photo, and maybe they had some modifications to the boat since last time, but the general outline should match what you're looking for. And then in addition, if you were curious about the assets that are there to support you, they're also there in the brief card of the external app. All you gotta do is click on their title and it'll pop a photo out. So if you're out there and you're like, is this my mission boat? You will be able to tell really easily. That was something that I had a lot of feedback about was, what am I looking for? Well, yes. You're looking for a boat. Which one? That's a good question. Depends.
Well,
so, yeah, that was to alleviate that.
We have located this boat. looks like it's moving along, so we will just go and have a look at this one. I assume this is our target. Matt hasn't implemented the feature yet with the postcard kind of preview, so that's there. We're going to have a look here. Now, I think there might be some sort of a range trigger here, Matt, so I think my task is to get a bit closer so we can make contact. I've turned the landing light on so they know that I'm coming for them.
I have to acknowledge this one comment. Only the size of a small plate. That's enough for me. Yeah, same.
We're still on the spiders.
If you describe,
the breakout moment of the stream.
Small plate. Yeah. I'm out.
Oh my god. Alright, so we're closing in on a ship. This ship has been reported overdue. So Emergency Dispatcher Pro has put it in there for us. Currently in beta testing. And I'm going to slow down a bit and I'm just tracking. Oh, there's something else over there, Matt.
Yeah, that one's one of your rescue boats.
That's a rescue boat that's been sent for this boat as well. You've caused a whole heap of problems, white boat with an orange funnel. So
he's helping you out.
All right, so let's see what we've got here. Still no actions available. So is this maybe not my boat?
That's not your boat. No, is like I said, the brief card should show you the boat you're searching for.
Oh,
right
that has been implemented. That has been implemented.
Yeah,
right. Oh,
correct.
Okay. So, all right. So what am I doing? I need to. Oh, here's one over here as well. Right, that's a blue and orange one. Sorry, Matt. I have forgot to check that feature. So let's do what the designer of the app says and get it visible here. And so whereabouts do I find these preview images, Matt?
Scroll down on the brief card.
Yep.
A little bit up. A little bit up. A little bit up. A little bit up. You're looking for that ferry. If you click on that description of the ferry, does that come up?
If I click, sorry, I just realised I'm really flying blind right now, so I'm just going to just spend a moment just doing some actual navigation with my helicopter here. Okay, that's better. If I click on what, sorry?
The ferry, the search target photo. It's not showing like it should be.
Did not realise that was clickable. Yeah, you want like a blue underline or something there, so I know it's a link.
No,
right? Yeah.
Yeah, that should have showed a photo, a thumbnail. That didn't, so I'll write that down as a problem. But
live beta testing, people.
Yeah, that should have showed a photo of the boat in a small that fits in that pane, and then if you click on it, it expands the photo. And then the vessels below that, if you click on those, so under the water asset support vessels,
yes,
that will show the rescue vessels that are out there to help you.
Excellent stuff. All right, so I've got this other boat which we haven't identified yet, so I'm just doing some emergency maneuvering here in my MH-60 to try and catch up with it again. So we're flying around all over the place. I like what Virtue Sim, we didn't acknowledge your comment there earlier, Virtue Sim, that we wouldn't be able to see them with binoculars anyway, these ships. I mean, it's a beautiful day here in Alaska, so no problems there. But yeah, so you're saying though, Virtue Sim, that we just wouldn't see them with binoculars anyhow. So I can cancel that thought.
Yeah, especially with a small boat, or and they even the people on the hiker rescue or the special mountain rescue, I had to add that smoke in there. It's so hard to see them, even with the high vis reflective vest on. It's so hard to find them without a FLIR, without the infrared camera that the U.S. Coast Guard actually uses. Without a working one of those, you're always going to have like this basically like this handicapped ability to search for. It's like golf. You're handicapped down to a certain score, so the smoke at least helps you see out into the distance and go, okay, that's what I'm looking for. I'm considering having that as a setting where you can turn that off if you really want the hardcore version of finding stuff. So please let me know in my Discord if that's something you'd be interested in, as a toggleable switch where it doesn't pop smoke for you or any visual assets. But ooh, it's rough.
So that's still not our vessel, and I only know that because the action to contact it is not available to me yet. So now we're going to check out our third vessel, and I could be cheating at this point, which I might just do. And
Yeah, at this point, it
go on.
didn't spawn that photo for you. I apologize for that.
Oh well, live beta testing. So we've got another option up here. So we've checked out 2 boats so far. Got another option up here. Do you recognise it, Matt, as this green one as being definitely yes or definitely no, the ship that we might be looking for?
Yeah, that's your guy.
Helps having the developer of the product on board to tell me what to do. Okay.
So easy cheat code for you right now. The mission boats don't move. That's in the current build. Upcoming, they'll start moving.
Nice. Excellent stuff. 32 concurrent viewers. Nice to have you along as we sample Emergency Dispatcher Pro from Miravia Softworks. Oh, I love using these binoculars. Yeah, it's that boat is just sitting on the water, so that gives us a clue that it's a little bit different from the other ones as we close in to check out what is going on here.
Yeah, that one's right on the edge of the circle too. So that's where the search patterns will come really in handy. You know, flying from the center and then out, either a expanding square or a sector search. It'll help you just kind of get an entire sit rep on the entire circle.
Excellent stuff. So we are closing in now, and let's see if we've got the option yet to contact this boat. Yes, we do. So I can contact the vessel, VHF 16 vessel. Oh, what? No issue here. Thank you for checking. I'm just going to buzz you to teach you a valuable lesson. Look at the Coast Guard resources you are wasting. And also, did I almost hit the water there?
What's funny is this happens so much. From what I've been told, is like, either worried wives, companies, husbands, whoever it may be out there that calls up and says, the person that was supposed to come home isn't home yet, and they head out there, and it could be just a guy who's sitting out there drinking a few beers, enjoying his peace, and forgot to check the time.
Oh boy. Well, I am going to turn back south because our mission here is done. So that required absolutely no action whatsoever on my part. But that is, I think, what Matt's saying there. Yeah, flight simple, so very common. So we've just spent a whole bunch of US Coast Guard resource up here in Alaska to find someone who has zero issues at all and didn't need our help. So we'll leave that green boat behind, get back to base.
You can't see it yet because it's not modeled, but there's a guy throwing rocks at the helicopter trying to get you to go away. You're scaring his fish. That'd be fun though, huh?
Leave our fish alone. Leave our fish alone. That's hilarious. So yeah, Gary, you're just commenting. Oh, actually, do you know what? I've actually missed a couple of comments there. So what I'll do actually is I'll just get myself levels off here. We've got 150 knots on now. We'll get that landing light off. It's back to Kodiak, and let's get the the barometric hold on there at 1,500 feet. I'm going to have to dodge some hills later, but we'll get it all stabilized now. Deal with some of these comments. So yeah, I think you're talking people there about the fact that the flare camera in the MH-60 that's been modeled by Miltech for us, great add-on for the simulator, but it's not perfect. Simblitz, you're commenting it doesn't work on assets though, but it does have a great camera. Is that what you're saying, that the flare camera in the MH-60 won't actually show sim objects that have been spawned in? Are you able to answer that, Matt?
Yeah, it's actually a sim limitation. No fault of Miltech at all. The sim, just the cameras that you can put into the simulator, they just can't show the sim objects at the moment. That doesn't mean it's not, that doesn't mean it's impossible. But right now, there's no SDK way of getting sim objects to appear like that.
Well, we deal with these things step by step by step by step. Yeah, and comment there
Somebody will
from,
figure it out.
yeah, comment there from Virtue Sim as well. Being in the Caribbean with the Coast Guard doing counter drugs operations. The little boats are very hard to spot even with binoculars. Yeah, especially with the swell going up and down as well. Boats can kind of, you dip below the swell and you can't see them. The radar operator could spot them, but the observers could not. Interesting. And Gary, yeah, you're just speculating about a future where we've got like white hot, black hot, multicolor, or night vision in our future imagined state with flare operations on our HEMS or our rescue helicopters like this one. Yeah, that'd be fun. Yeah, so as Symbolist is saying, hopefully as Matt was underlining as well, Miltech doing a great job, and hopefully we'll be able to get that one improved soon and expand those options in the MH-60, Gary. Absolutely.
Yeah,
so,
hopefully.
Lots of good thoughts there. Yeah, go ahead, Matt.
I was going to say, it would be amazing if that could be a thing. Yeah, again, it's no fault of their own. It's just the sim environment has certain restrictions that we have to abide by, but there's always, as you've seen in the entire development community, there's always workarounds to that. It's just sometimes they take a long time, especially something like the camera. The way it's been described to me is the only way you could probably get away with it is by rendering a completely new window of the flight sim inside the flight sim, and that's gonna tank performance for people that don't have 5080s, 5090s, 4090s, and so on. So hopefully MSFS hears our pleas and our thoughts and our prayers about expanding that system out a little bit more.
Yeah, I feel something that could be something that's also applicable to mirrors, like in helicopters when we're doing sling load operations. We like to have a mirror down here so we can see down, see what's going on. And at the moment, what's offered in the sim is very basic and not really usable, frankly. Like, you can't get any sufficient resolution on those reflection images to be helpful for you in actually doing any flying. So that feels like a similar situation, Matt. Like, we're just kind of waiting for some technology solution where we can make this better.
Yeah, it's just it's the balancing the supercomputer users from the average computer users and making sure that everyone gets the same fair chance to play and have a good time in it, right?
Yeah.
I commend Microsoft on 2024. In my personal opinion, 2024, in the state it is right now, is just amazing. It's a lot better on lower end systems. It handles and performs a lot better, and it's just going to get better. And I'm also grateful that they're not abandoning 2020. That's amazing for people that don't want to make the switch, right? They already have their setups, they already have all their aircraft. So, as much as people will either complain or praise, I would love to give them a shout out for at least supporting both for the near-term future.
Awesome. I remember Mamu from Mamu Designs just talking about how clever MSFS 2024 is in efficiently rendering the same object and repeating it on screen in a way that is not obvious to the user. So it's always interesting to hear developers just reflect on how far the simulators come. And yeah, I mean, for me, when I first got going, when I first went over to 2024 when everyone else did in that chaotic first week or so, and like, let's be honest, we know that's all good. Something like it's going to happen again next time as well. There's going to be something. If they launch it smoothly, I'm gonna eat my hat. Actually, I probably won't.
It's a nice hat, though.
It was too expensive. That embroidery doesn't come cheap,
Yeah, no, maybe a loaner hat. Borrow one from your friend. Don't tell them the purpose of why you're borrowing a hat, just suspiciously,
Oh dear. So despite that rocky launch, we've ended up with a sim that actually ran really well. I found that 2024 operated actually better than 2020 initially on my system as it was at that time. I've done a couple of upgrades since then, so definitely getting better results now. It's I think they've done a lot of interesting optimization work, and like, optimization is just so important these days. Matt, it'd be interesting to hear your thoughts on this. We're entering maybe a year or two where there's going to be fewer advances in consumer level 3D rendering hardware. RAM is very expensive as well. looks like development might be slowing down a bit as manufacturers focus on AI. What are your thoughts on what we're kind of seeing in the development and environment, and like how better might we be served if people were to focus more on efficiency than sort of sheer brute computational power in these coming times?
We're in a really crazy time in the world, in terms of technology, in terms of everything, right? And there's this weird shift. I mean, I've been building computers as long as I can remember, and it was always GPU, 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 right? And then they had the pretty good, I feel like a pretty good offering of GPUs, and then it came out you need CPU, especially FSX. You need a CPU thread hungry processor. I remember Threadrippers were like all the craze when I was looking at a better sim. I think now, with just the mass amount of data, and yes, the fact that RAM is super expensive and it's going to keep going until either the AI bubble pops or we figure out more productive and efficient ways to make these kinds of silicon chips and whatnot. I think it's going to shift off. I mean, you could see it in 2024. You see that they're shifting a lot of just the data on your hard drive to the cloud, right? And I don't see them not exploring that in terms of computational power as well. I mean, obviously the limitations are you got to have a really fast internet to have a really good render time, but it's something that I feel like could happen. I'm not a fan of that idea. I like having everything. I like downloading everything on my computer. I don't.
Why?
Really like
why do you like that better? I love the streaming. Why do you prefer having it all locally?
I don't know. I guess I'm an old man at heart. I like.
You don't trust the cloud.
No, it's just so. From a developer standpoint, if something goes wrong, I can cross that off as a variable of what went wrong. Right? I can't blame my internet for causing a CTD if it's all on my computer. Now, it's not all on my computer. That would be terabytes of data. I want to clarify that. But a lot of the stuff, especially the aircraft that I fly, they're going to be downloaded directly to my computer. That way, if I do have any issues or errors, CTDs, whatever, that's one less variable I have to now check. Is it me? Is it the sim? Is it the internet? Well, internet's gone. It can't be the internet, or very low chance. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of shifting computational power to the internet, but as the internet gets faster, I mean, there's places that have, was it 2000? I think Munich just launched a pilot program for fiber optic cable that offers up to 2000 mbits per second. As that keeps gaining traction and people are getting faster, and I don't see a world where we wouldn't have supercomputers, that just, you don't have it locally because you can't afford it, but you maybe rent it or pay for it or pay. I don't know. I don't know how that would work, but that's how I see the future of this hobby getting better. Is we're still limited by the machine hardware that the users have, right? If the average user has a 3060, you can't make something that's optimized or really playable for a 4090. You would have to hit that middle ground so everyone can play with it, right? With different settings.
Yeah, sure. Really interesting.
Sorry, that was long-winded.
No, it's really interesting to hear your thoughts. I mean, it's a really pressing topic for how development is done in the sort of the medium term, I think, and sort of where we're going and how things are going to pan out. I mean, people, aren't going to be. I mean, there's always that one core, hardcore part of the flight simulation market who will kind of spend anything on a new GPU, and. But that's a minority, and
yep.
I've sort of got to watch it for myself as well. Like I've just bought a 5080, and that it's got more processing power than the 7900 XT that I upgraded from, but less VRAM. So I have to sort of reconsider some of the ways that I do things. Turns out the 58 is really great in VR because that raw computational processing power that it's got can really feed those 30 million pixels that we've got inside the Pimax Crystal Super, but not everyone is going to have that, and not everyone in this period of rising prices and more expensive hardware and hardware developers shifting their focus onto the AI industry. It's going to slow down, so it's going to be really interesting the balance that the developers like Microsoft and Asobo, what they're going to do with these traditionally really high-end applications and how they're going to navigate that. That's just what you were talking about, Matt. It's going to be an interesting couple of years.
I think, let's put it this way, right? If the average user was offered, I don't know, a $10 a month subscription to basically a 5090 style computer, and it worked 100% well. And these are just numbers I'm throwing out into the void, right? They're not real. They'd probably be 30, 40 bucks a month. But regardless, you get a supercomputer basically for a certain price that's affordable to the average user without having to buy all that stuff. And maybe it's monthly, right? You can cancel anytime. I think people would take that if it was guaranteed to not have bugs, right? Like not have performance slowdowns, which is what you would have if everyone was trying to stream, a limited amount of resources at the same time. You would have slowdowns and throttling. So there's issues with that as well. But in a perfect world, if you could have everyone has the ability to use a 5090 style computer, right, with the top level processor, whether it's a 14900K or KS, excuse me, or AMD. What's the newest one? 9950 X3D.
That's what I got.
Yeah, if everyone had the ability to do that for a monthly fee and it worked no problem, I could definitely see that as the future of consumer gaming, especially with this AI price. Like, forget about it. Like, a lot of these prices are just astronomical now, and I'm scared to even throw away my spare RAM in case my current RAM just decides to die. Because I don't want to spend $800 on 64 gigs.
It's just it's amazing, the prices right now, just amazing. Well, this is a lovely flight back into Kodiak. Who I did not imagine that this was going to be, as it were, on the radar today. This stunning, look at that mysterious hills in the distance there as we fly south into Kodiak. We've got a massive crosswind coming across us here. Have a look at this flyby view and you can kind of get a sense of how fast we're crabbing over to the left. Actually, you can just see it there. We're just crabbing over to the left a little bit in that flyby. But it was really crazily crabbing before. I've picked up the speed a bit, so I've just been focusing on just pulling the collective, keeping the nose down, and getting us on track back to Kodiak. And so I'd be interested to know what people on chat think about this. So Matt, Emergency Dispatcher Pro, sent us out on an investigation to find out what's going on with a ship out at sea there that had not reported back in. Was it Virtue Flying was saying that, Virtue Sim, sorry, was saying that that's kind of realistic. Like, we spend all this time out at sea and sometimes, or over the sea, and then we find that it was just like a false alarm or, faulty data or just some clown not being very diligent about their radio communications. So what are your thoughts in the chat, people, of how the app handles that? Do you still get satisfaction out of flying the mission like we've done and now on our way back into beautiful Kodiak without actually having picked up a patient? What do you think about that? What are your expectations of an app? Do you want like exciting kind of nail-biting rescues every time, or do you want to feel like this kind of sense of realism that sometimes it's not like that? Sometimes you do the patrol and nothing happens. What are your thoughts, chat? I'd be interested to know what you think. And while you think about your answer there, chat, what's your view, Matt?
Yeah. Can you hear me okay? I think my
I've still got you.
Having some weird. Cool. All right. Yeah. No, I think so. My conversations with the Coast Guard have been great, and I've told them that I'm aiming for about 80% realism, and what I meant by that is if you did 100% realism in any kind of simulation, any game, you're gonna start to lose people. You're gonna lose people and they're gonna get bored. My favorite one to explain is like a cop simulator, right? If you did a 100% police simulator, you would spend 6 hours of your time in the car just writing reports, right, of your 12-hour shift. So, and then don't forget about mandatory court days on your off days.
Sure.
So there's a balance there. I like the 80% model, which is you try to get it as realistic as possible without making it too lame or arcadey, but you're also not making it that extra 20%, which might lose people. And that's kind of like the mission you experience right now is those are set up to happen, and I can't pull the number off the top of my head of what the percentage of those should be, but there are options to mitigate that. So you can always, in the full release, you'll have the ability to select a vessel in distress if you want. You head out there and you'll just go find a sinking vessel. You have the option to do medevac cases. So you just you only focus on that. The overdue is just it's kind of a toss-up. You don't know what you're gonna get, so the user should be prepared to, kind of have a little bit more realism there. If you wanted a direct mission, you can always select that and kind of take that as your as you will, right?
Yeah, well, we've got some this feedback coming in there. Land visual, absolutely. It's about realism for you. You don't need to have that action every time. Sometimes it is about going out and not finding the sinking ship or whatever, and you just get sent back. Simblitz, yeah, I think sometimes the annoyance factor is quite nice. It's not going to be drama and chaos all the time. Yeah, that's good. True. Yes, but maybe Matt, the developer, could add in a small thing to say when the mission is complete. Yeah, well, we were talking about that, weren't we? Like, you want a little bit more audio feedback for the user.
Yeah, like I said, we're working on some voice lines right now as I won't call him an AI assistant, but like your first officer, your co-pilot, your partner, your ride or die, as the kids would say. He's going to be more of a old veteran pilot that is a little bit salty. He's been doing it for a long time, so he'll have that kind of gruff to him. It's also a perfect way to ship my level of humor into this. I've given him a little bit of creative license to drift around on the lines I gave him. But if I don't think you showed it, but the startup shows really well of my sense of humor
Yes.
on the splash screen. And that's just, I like to put that in. It makes me laugh, and I like to laugh at my own jokes. But yeah, no, adding the voice and adding the audio capabilities really will bring it just full circle for the user. It's weird when you think it on paper. It's like, I don't really need that, and then you get the concept going, and maybe you play a couple lines, and you're like, okay, this is full circle. This is total immersion. There's not much more I could do here in like the base version of what I'm offering, right? And yeah, absolutely. I like I was telling you earlier, the virtual co-pilot, I guess, the first officer, and adding like a flight mech, just because the flight mech can also add a little bit of comic relief, right? Like, hey, like I was telling you earlier, hey, this guy is throwing hands back here. What should I do?
Yeah.
Or even a little hint for you, because there is an option to divert hospitals in this offering right now. Let's say that the hospital you're trying to go to is socked in for weather, or the patient is deteriorating, and you notice that. Maybe the flight mech behind you says, hey, this guy's not looking so good. Can we go to a closer hospital? Maybe the hospital you're going to isn't the fastest, right? It's just the best level of care at the time when it was planned, but you need to divert now. You need to go somewhere faster. Those are options, and they are implemented currently. But the audio hint would be great, because now you're not having to decide for yourself, because you never are alone, right? You're not deciding these things by yourself. You're a team of people working up there, and figuring out what the best course of action is. But fun fact, if you choose, so there's one freebie you get, where you just can't find the hospital. Maybe it's covered or something. That won't ding you on the score. But if you choose to divert for, say, weather, and the weather that the sim detects is not bad weather, it'll give you a little bit of a point difference, saying, hey, you diverted for no reason, you delayed care essentially. And then the same thing with deteriorating patient, it'll give you a slight point difference, so subtraction if the patient actually isn't deteriorating. Again, this ties back into the global leaderboard I want to implement as the infrastructure, as I can expand that infrastructure, because it'll just keep everyone honest on their timeline. You're scored on everything. You're scored on the time it takes you to get at the scene, the search patterns you run, how long it took you to get on task,
how buttery your landing is.
How buttery your landing is. Yeah. There's a lot of options there. I'm just trying to make it. I made this for myself. I started off making this for myself, and I had a lot of people that saw it, friends of mine, and they're like, well, what are you doing there? And I showed them, and they're like, well, this is really cool. I want something like that. And I was like, all right, well, cool. And then I said, why not? Let me make something cool. I got time. So this is my job now.
Excellent stuff. Holy Truckers is asking what this actually is. We're looking at emergency. People join, of course, halfway through the stream. We're looking at Emergency Dispatcher Pro from Miravia Softworks. That's the developer you can hear. Matt talking about what is working, what he's still working on, and maybe your possible contribution to making it better in one of the upcoming beta windows. I put one there in the bot, but you might have an opportunity even sooner than that if you get onto the website Miravia Softworks. Which just hasn't printed through on that chat from what I can see, but someone else can type it in the chat for me. MiraviaSoftworks.com. That's correct, isn't it, Matt?
Alright, I lost you there. You got a little bit robotic for me.
MiraviaSoftworks.com. That's the correct address, isn't it?
Correct.
Yeah. Excellent
Correct.
stuff.
Sorry, I keep getting the Discord flashing that I'm getting bad internet signal. I don't know why, but yep, MiraviaSoftworks.com. The source of truth though is in the Discord.
Yeah.
And there's the steps on how to sign up for a beta. Beta again starts this Friday, 0800 Zulu. And in the Discord, it converts that timeline for you to your current local system time. So, no math required.
Very nice. So what I'll do is I'll put the MH-60 down back at base. We'll have a look at the review and we'll wind up the stream. And Matt's been very kind with his time. It's pretty late where he is. So very grateful for you to take the time and have a chat with us. Really interesting, actually. It's been a really, really fascinating insight into how things are done, how things can be done. A bit of a different approach from Matt that we see from, I don't mean to criticize anyone, but everyone has a different approach, different personalities. I really enjoy yours, Matt, of being really, really transparent and talking through what you're working on, what's working, what could still be better, and to be so open to people giving their views on that as well. So, yeah, thanks for staying up late, Matt. It's been great.
No, it's been a blast. Thanks for having me. My dream has always been to be on like a podcast or something, or even a stream like this. So, wish fulfilled. So, thank you for letting me talk up on the airwaves.
Well, this could be a bit of a model. I'd love to. I mean, I've been thinking, as a YouTuber, and Simblitz will be the same. We're always thinking about how we utilize the tools that are available to us to do good for the community, I think, and hopefully to do good for ourselves as well. It's about making a persuasive offering for the audience and being rewarded with that, with numbers, people tuning in. In a way, this kind of has been a podcast episode, but the only difference is I've been flying an aircraft the whole time.
That's
more
like
or less successfully.
Yeah, that's like the coolest type though. Like that's not two people sitting around a couch or a table and talking about stuff. That's one guy or gal or whoever wants to be flying, attempting to fly an airplane while trying to hold a full conversation. It's pretty epic.
Yeah, no, it's been really great. I was a little bit disappointed with OBS before. Like I swear that was all working early this morning just before the stream when I got going. And then when I got going, it was like, but all the screen shares have gone on weird places. It's like it actually randomly shuffled everything. That was very upsetting. So I'll have to spend a few minutes investigating what went wrong there. But anyway, sorry for the mucking around at the start of the stream. I'll have to see if I can edit that out of the replay so that people just get to the good stuff. Oh, beautiful.
It worked to build that tension, that excitement.
Oh, that dramatic. People love that little glimpse behind the curtain. All right, I'm going into the wind here. I'm pretty happy with this approach. Just keep my eyes down there a bit. The visibility in the MH-60 is actually not that great, looking down here. My parking brake is off. I might just turn that on for getting down onto the pad. The landing light is on for once. Got the sun right behind me. Not too bad of an approach. And we'll let that settle down here and get the parking brake off, and we'll turn around just nicely. I did that deliberately so that, I think I had the tail wheel touching and then I didn't quite know what I was doing, so that was just a bit weird. Just with that strong headwind there, so we'll just, with the parking brake off, we'll just turn this around to make it look nice for the next person to get the helicopter.
No maintenance calls here.
And I'll just stop that there. And last call for questions for Matt from Miravia Softworks and me with my... Oh no, we've got to look at the debrief. That's important.
Oh yeah. You want to guess the score again?
Well, I feel like I haven't really. I feel like I haven't really done anything. I've just had a lovely flight and a nice chat.
Right? Yeah.
Just a couple of questions though. Let's deal with those. Holy Tracker, does this work with any search and rescue helicopter? Yes, it does. Matt's just working on things to do with the calculations for the speed and all the stuff like that, and whether or not he's got control over the door or not through Emergency Dispatcher Pro. That's a work in progress. You can also do fixed wing as well, but we don't talk about fixed wing on this channel. But you can do. Why don't you just speak to that briefly, Matt? What can you do with fixed wing with this app?
Yeah, so in the beta that's coming up this Friday, you'll be able to do the fixed wing transport. So that's just kind of scoring you a lot of like virtual airlines and virtual special operations, or different online networks like to use that to reposition their planes around. And then it's still limited, so the other fixed wing option you get to do is the medevac, so you can just fly a small, it's a very short route, so you don't need a 747 for that. Let's see what else. That's the fixing right now. Full release, you're gonna have basically the same access to the same missions. So you'll be able to do the search and rescue mission. You won't be landing on the ship or hovering, but you'll be able to get out there and start searching and whatnot. Some fishery, environmental patrols, as well as drug interdiction missions will be available as well, and these will be coming to the helicopter side as well.
You're going to be like every pilot in the US Coast Guard with this app. I mean, that's the promise, isn't it? You can kind of do anything that the US Coast Guard does. If you've come in late, Matt was talking before about how he's had a lot of contact with the US Coast Guard and developing kind of some thoughts around the realism of the missions and sort of what they do and how things work. So that's been fed into the development. That's what Matt was saying before. And just to answer a couple more of Holy Tracker's questions there, so hopefully we've answered your question. It's not just for MH-60, although boy does it work great with the MH-60, and it's going to be great with the MH-65 as well when that comes out from Taug's hangar. So that Dauphin helicopter is coming out hopefully pretty soon, so we'll be able to enjoy that. Emergency Dispatcher Zaki Monster is the app that you're seeing in the EFB right in front there, and I'll show you what the score is in just a moment, so you can see from the debrief how I did, Zaki. So the developer you've been hearing from in the conversation, Zaki, is Matt from Miravia Softworks. That's who's behind it. So Holy Tracker, no, nothing to do with Say Intentions, completely independent of any other mission app. One benefit for me, I mentioned it right at the start of the stream, that, but I'll just restate it again now, is that you can be assigned the mission, but it doesn't restart the flight. I think one of there's lots of pros to the Miltech Mission Hub. A con for that to me is that it has to restart the flight each time you select your new mission. That is not the case with Emergency Dispatcher Pro. You could actually just be out doing a patrol and you go think, well, this would be nice to maybe assign myself a real life mission on my way back into base, and you could bring up Emergency Dispatcher Pro and have it give you a mission on your way back to base if you felt like doing something like that. And your last question there, it's a one-off purchase, absolutely. It's not subscription-based, so it's not like Say Intentions in that sense. And I would just hazard to say, with the way things are currently standing, there's a bit more mission possibility in what I'm seeing so far in Emergency Dispatcher Pro than what I'm seeing with Say Intentions. Of course, with Say Intentions, we've got that incredible AI technology around the voice communications, but there's, I think, a little bit more to do in terms of those US Coast Guard modeled missions than from what Matt has invested so far into Emergency Dispatcher Pro. So awesome idea, says Gary. Yeah, absolutely agree. So, hey, Matt, did you want to respond to any of that before I reveal the mission score, or shall we just get into that?
No, I think you kind of encompass everything perfectly there.
Excellent stuff. So is this better than the missions that come with High Performance Group? Is your goal to be better than that or the same? I think it's very different, Holy Tracker. So, I mean, I don't think that that it's profitable to compare these products too deeply with other ones. I know I was just doing that a little bit when I was talking about Say Intentions, but look, let's just kind of try and treat it on its own merits. I think if we go on that cons side of the column again, it's a bit of a pity that high performance groups just had a bit of upheaval recently, and there's a bit of a change in developers. And so Random and Anywhere, Zaki, that you mentioned, I believe was not from High Performance Group, but it works with that High Performance Group system. I've not tried that yet, so I'm actually not qualified to talk about it, and it'd be unfair for me to put Matt in that position. So I think we'll deal with that one once we come to doing sort of full reviews and that sort of thing. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of perspective where we're coming from there, or where I'm coming from anyway, just as a streamer, and hopefully to support, people speaking freely about their product, and really appreciate what Matt has been able to show us today with Emergency Dispatcher Pro. So save up your last couple of questions, people, or put them into the chat, I should say, whilst I have a look at my score. So let's just get that off there for a moment, and we'll get that on there. And now it's done that again. So is that because I'm in a different... This worked before. Oh, is that because I needed to... There it is. I've really lost control of OBS today, but there's the score, Matt. So you want to talk me through this? What are we seeing here? Looks good.
Let me zoom in here. Yeah, I think my tailwind is too sensitive right now. I think that's, you're limiting. I think it's picking you up. I need to recheck the altitude gating. I think it's picking you up a little too high for what it should be. You should be able to kind of proceed inwards with a tailwheel, with the tailwind, excuse me. So yeah, that needs some tweaking. But other than that, I mean, your safety looks pretty good. You only lost 0.4 points. So what was your loss there then? 5 points lost.
Precision airmanship. There we go. What's that?
That's my approach execution. So that's basically trying to decide for you if your approach was a very stable approach. Also needs some tweaking. I just turned that down by about 10%. So I'm gonna come down a little bit more because that was a very stable approach, sir. I must say myself.
That's what I wanted to hear. That's the only reason I did the stream, is I just wanted the compliment from a developer. Efficiency. So it looks like we did quite well on timing there. Time bonus adjustment. I don't know how you're doing that calculation, but there's some magic in the system that you're using to calculate that. So I did the mission faster than what you expected, is how I interpret that to mean.
Exactly.
Yeah. So where was that tailwind situation? Is that here? Tailwinds during approach and hover. Really?
Yeah, it's picking you up too high. So
come on, Matt.
To hit on that that score, that buff that you got. Essentially, the app will reward you if you're safe when you're doing your flight, and if you're beating the time that the app determines it'll take for you to complete that mission, and you were low on your safety penalties, it'll give you a little bit of a boost in the efficiency. If you were breaking rules the entire time and you beat the app estimate, you will lose points in that, because you're basically overspeeding the entire time, or you pulled 75 Gs or whatever it may be.
Indeed. Well, so that all went quite well. It's nice that I sort of feel kind of rewarded, because even though we didn't get the action of like an emergency pickup or anything like that, we didn't have to put a swimmer into the ocean again like we did off Cape Cod. It was still satisfying because I'm kind of rewarded for my smooth flying. Which is actually reasonably easily done in the MH-60 if you treat it good. So that's really great. I thought that was really quite fun. So I'll deal with a couple more questions here. Land Visuals asking, could there be some UK missions in the future, Matt?
Yes, there can be. So once we get this app squared away, so V1 launch of this Coast Guard mission emulator, the expansion will happen, and I'm not decided of where that's going to be exactly. I don't know if I'm going to do next a UK heli med service style app, or if I may expand the medevac system that you can do in the US. That's kind of up in the air right now. It's not cemented down. What that means for the end user is, once you purchase this app, any expansion is going to be pretty reasonably priced. I know a lot of people have said reasonably priced. What you're paying for is just the time for me to basically make sure the data is good, and the data development, data procure, I will say. It shouldn't be more than 5 to 15 euros, unless I'm adding something incredibly cool like new assets or AI interface voices, or just something that would require me to upcharge more. It shouldn't be more than 15 euros to buy that expansion pass. And even I haven't even thought that far down the line, but maybe a way to buy just that pack and you don't get this one. That's to be determined. But yes, expansions are coming. Expansions will be reasonably priced off the base app, whatever that final price may be, and to be determined on where I go next. My important goal is whoever I try to model, I want to work with them. So if there's heli-med services that you guys know in the UK and Ireland and Germany and the Netherlands and Canada, I would love some context so I can get this right as best I can. Get their stories, get their thoughts, their procedures, and just make it cool.
All right. Well, that's what you need to do, Land Visual, is to get onto the Miravia Softworks Discord and have a bit of a chat with Matt and give you suggestions and see what he might like to do with them. So, Zachy sounds like a great add-on. So Matt can feel good about that. Holy Trucker, what about a level or progression system? Have you thought about that?
You guys hit me with the good questions today. That is definitely something I thought about. Is it going to be in V1? No. Would I like it to be in V1? Yeah. If I had a team of 3 other developers with me on this, it would probably be in V1. Ultimately, I want to do something like that where it does give you that sense of progression, and there are some thoughts in my head of how to get a hybrid of that where I don't have to necessarily redevelop the app or hire 3 other people to help me work on it. So to be determined on that. It's not in the roadmap right now. Probably not gonna have it for V1, but anything's possible. Anything's possible. I promise you that. I throw a lot of surprises at my closed alpha group all the time where I say, hey, I got all this stuff done. Go test it out.
Oh, good times on the Miravia Softworks Discord. So can you make a military one for the Huey? Holy Trucker asks.
Yeah. Something I am working on right now.
Oh, really?
Some hints. Not the military part yet. Similar, kind of. Standby.
Right.
There's a lot here.
One thing at a time. One thing at a time.
For real. Let me get this one out first. Something I've hinted on a few of my Discord posts is something called blackjack missions. So the U.S. Coast Guard runs what's called blackjack missions. These are a specialized team that sits at Washington Reagan International Airport. They are the aircraft interceptors for the DC prohibited zone. They are the guys that will go up and intercept aircraft that are slow flying. So think Cessnas and Piper Cubs and just things that are flying too slow for F-15s to intercept. That is something I am actively trying to make sure it works and works well. And that kind of gets me my foot in the door for like a military style thing. But ideas are in my head. Don't you worry. I promise. I have the same ideas that you do in that regard. And there's a lot of cool stuff you can do in this simulator. It's just I'm by myself.
One thing at a time. One last one from Simblitz. Would you look into doing police services, like being an air unit support? It's like an air unit supporting ground units looking for a vehicle, or is that too hard with your current limitations?
Yeah, so good question. I think I had one user ask about this as well. Police services would be super fun. However, they're really hard to do in practice. So
putting a vehicle on the road.
No, that's actually the easy part. It's making sure that the road actually matches what it should, right? If you look at it from a flat 2D map, satellite map, it looks pretty good until you get to a certain zoom level, right? And then that's where you run into the issue with low-level flying in urban cities, is they're not always really good looking unless you're in the really big cities. And so then you might have this kind of like car following a somewhat looking type road, and then kind of like maybe follow the road, but the road is actually a line that the code uses. So and then it's the question of what is the user going to do, right? The user's just going to follow a car around. That could be a lot of fun for some people, but some people just might not see the value in it. And so if I were to develop a whole app and spend, I don't know, 6 months to a year working on it. Would it pay off to release that app, or is that something maybe I could open up an SDK? I've had a lot of people ask about if I would open up the code base so people can make their own style of missions. I'm undecided on that, but to be determined. I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to turn anything out, any ideas off, I should say. I'm open to most suggestions. I just got to focus on getting this app out first, and then figuring out what's next, right?
Good stuff. Understood. People, yeah, so a couple of other comments there. Yeah, seldom as a careers pack maybe, or police, military, search and rescue. Well, that's, I think Matt's just touched on that. In VR, you get to live these careers. Is that what you mean there? Like it just feels a bit more real, absolutely. Well, Matt, you have been an excellent participant. Thank you so much for coming along to the stream. I loved having you doing this in partnership with you. I've loved having a go at the app. I actually gave Matt a little bit of a gift. I gave him an alert sound. I've done a little bit of audio work in my career, so see if I can help him out with a couple of audio things. And people, thanks so much for your questions. Really appreciated having you along with the stream today. We had some pretty exciting action off Cape Cod, dipping into the water there, getting a swimmer into the water and retrieving some swimmers into the aircraft. I think someone was asking, do you kind of see or hear your crew? Here maybe is something that Matt's working on. See, no.